Right, so ghosts of dead famous people, guys. Evening, everybody. Perry and Colin. Evening. I need to call him Andy.
Evening, Col. Evening, Perry.
Evening.
Right. So, a lot of people in the world believe that there's once you die, there's spirits are around. Well, famous people are just people, so therefore, it ain't surprising stories of ghostly famous people have been commented on over the years, and I think we've got quite a few good ones between us tonight.
Maybe
from Marilyn Monroe to Betty Davis to Michael Jackson. There's many around. I'm feeling generous, so I think we'll go for Ian to start this one.
yes.
Oh, I like that.
Okay. The one I've got, one of the ones I've got is Mr. Lennon.
Oh, yeah.
He's allegedly, oh, for crying out. Right, hang on, I'm going to have to drop out for a bit.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the bat phone.
Right, well, we'll jump over to you then, Lynn.
Okie dokie. Let me find the one. I'm going to start with Lucille Ball.
Yep.
And first off, we'll start with the haunting. So, allegedly, there's a good reason why she haunts her old home. And I'm just going to read you the article.
Yep.
The world became a little less bright when Lucille Ball died on April 26, 1989. But what if we told you that America's favorite redhead never really went away? According to many rumors, Lucy can still be found occasionally haunting her former Beverly Hills home. Sightings include reports of unexplained broken windows, loud voices coming from the attic, and furniture moving around the home. While it could have been another ghost, there's one eyewitness who saw Lucy visit the property after her passing. He was a friend of Lucille's, and he was driving past the property to have one last look at the house because he knew it had just been sold and they were planning on changing things. When he drove past, he noticed that walls were missing, and there were that many walls missing, he could see into Lucille's old bedroom. Then he noticed a tall, slim redhead peering through the fence at what was left of the house. She turned toward the car, and he realized it was Lucy, his friend. He said she looked upset and confused. Then she walked around the south corner of the house and disappeared. One such reason why she might be drawn to her old home might be to do with the changes made to it following her death. Her husband, Gary Norton, sold the estate. The new owners were bothered by visiting tourists, so decided to redo the facade with stucco so the home would be virtually unrecognizable. When you look at the images, it appears that they've removed part of the house. Let me just take a before and after.
This is going to be a little bit fun because I've lost my reading glasses.
Again?
I'd lose my balls if they weren't in a bag.
So when I get it in,
Her house was supposedly on the corner of Lexington Road and Roxbury Drive in Beverly Hills.
I did have a brief bit about her. I can't remember if I kept it there. I might have deleted it because Linda said she was going to do Lucille.
Why have they not opened?
Yeah.
They are not showing. Downloads. Come on.
Yeah. Let me find my glasses.
It's not flaming showing, so I'm going to stick them in Messenger on Facebook for you to put them up. So
I'd accidentally left them in the bedroom. So, because as you know, I went onto this base 44 because I saw an advert for it. It reckons you can build any sort of thing. So I've started building for a little bit of fun. I'm not sorry, the wrong thing. I started, as you know, building this. Started building an app for us. So far it's considering I have no knowledge, but right. So you said you've posted something in Facebook.
I've posted them into Facebook Messenger.
Oh yeah.
The first one is the house before.
Are you getting it, Carl? Or do you want me to do it?
That's what I've done it. Yeah, I've done it.
Right. So
My computer's actually working quite fast today.
They've redone the facade with stucco, so the house is virtually unrecognizable. It also appears as if they removed part of the building on the right. And then you've got your images of before and after.
That is a beautiful house.
And then
that is a really nice looking house.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah, and I agree. Part of the house is missing in that image for definite.
Yeah, you can definitely see the difference.
That doesn't look like the same house.
No, it don't.
That was their entire idea. Now, they've put on, honestly, if we were Lucy, we would haunt them too. Yeah. In addition to redoing the exterior, it looks like part of the house has been knocked down and much of the front yard gardens have actually been removed.
Yeah, there's a vast amount of that been taken out, hasn't there?
Yeah. And the gated carport on the left has gone as well. And then they've put, at least we have the memories of what Lucy's old home was like, along with accounts of what her life was like there.
Yeah.
The street she lived on sounded like a charming one. Neighbor Jimmy Stewart regularly stopped by to share the vegetables from his garden. Lucy handed out candy on Halloween, dressed in a very elaborate witch costume. And nobody bothered to lock their doors in the neighborhood, where virtually everybody was famous.
Yeah.
But sadly, time being time and the US being the US, Jimmy's house and a number of other notable homes in the neighborhood were demolished in favor of flashier mansion styles. The show must go on. But the other thing I wanted to say about Lucy, she's...
well, actually, yeah, Perry, sorry, Lynn, interrupting there, but Perry's got a really good point there.
It may just be the angle, though.
Maybe they've widened the road, maybe.
But if you look at
that tree.
I know they put up that wall.
That tree's gone.
Yeah.
So they've either widened the road, or I don't know what. Yeah, but Perry's good spot in there, Perry.
I'd suggest the brown patch in the middle of the grass
where the tree was. Yeah. Lucy's voice has been heard in various studio settings when they've been filming different things that are nothing to do with Lucy, but they're using the stages that Lucy and Desi used for I Love Lucy and various other series.
Yeah.
Her laugh, that infectious laugh, has been heard in various places. And ghosty things aside, Lucille was the one who stumped up the money for the first series of Star Trek.
Nice.
So all the Trekkies on the planet, whether you liked Lucille Ball or not, we all owe her a thank you.
And
because she was willing to take a risk when nobody else would.
I was saying to Linda, and she don't remember it, but it was a TV series back in the 80s called Automan. About a computer geek that I want to see if I can quickly get the image up. You might from the image, you might recognize it. But there was a TV series, it was a computer geek that created a program, and the computer program was like a detective.
Yeah.
And in that program, it was actually Lucille Ball's son in the lead role. Let me bring up you might not recognize the program, but you might recognize the little car that was in it. So let me quickly wrong one. Let me quickly bring that up. You might not. But I remember it as a kid, and that's the one I prefer because you had like A-Team, Werewolf, Automan. You briefly had Manimal and things like that, and Automan.
Remember Manimal?
Yeah, there's only about 6 or 7 episodes of that, so which was a shame. But there is rumours that they are going to start. They are doing a remake to that, so that could be interesting with today's technology. But yeah, Automan. I don't know if I doubt any of you recognise it, but that's Lucille Ball's son.
That vaguely rings a bell, but I don't remember it being called Automan.
Yeah.
But the suit and the outline of the car rings bells.
Tronish, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, that's Lucille's son.
That's what I'm thinking
I
of.
was watching some old repeats.
He looks like Desi.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
Little Ricky.
Yeah, right. So as unfortunately Ian had to get called away, so we'll jump back to Ian now.
Yes, mine is Mr. Lennon.
Yeah.
John of the Beatles fame.
I've got my opinions on him, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm not saying he was a particularly wonderful person.
From what I've heard, he wasn't a particularly nice man at all.
No, I've heard similar, but as you can't speak ill of the dead.
No. And he's also
ghosts coming haunting me.
He's actually even done interviews himself that have been recorded where he says he wasn't the nicest of people. So
yeah.
Well,
as we know, he was shot outside the Dakota in New York City. And that is as you would expect, that's one of the main places he's been seen. Yoko Ono herself reported seeing John Lennon's ghost sitting at his white piano and telling her, "Don't be afraid, I'm still with you." Where he was shot, where he was actually shot at the entrance, residents have reported seeing him looking at the doorway where he was assassinated, contemplating it. He's also allegedly been seen in Central Park, where area called Strawberry Fields is dedicated to him. His ghost has been seen wandering around there.
Yeah.
During the recording of Free as a Bird in the 1990s, Paul McCartney reported strange supernatural occurrences in the studio that the band felt were caused by Lennon. He is allegedly he's appeared as a white peacock to the remaining
I've heard Paul talk about that.
Yeah.
Okay.
During the 1995 reunion, this white peacock appeared to them, which they all believe was a sign of John's presence.
If I remember rightly, the interview I said they were all laughing and joking, and look, John's here. And just as they said that and started laughing, the peacock started calling. So they took that as a yes.
There's a yes. That's
cool.
Pretty much what I'd heard. He's also appeared to a few musicians. There's one guy in Wales, North Wales, who has claimed that John Lennon's ghost appeared to him and helped him to compose some music.
Yeah, we've mentioned this about other musicians, haven't we?
Yeah.
So.
And before his death, he was, as we all know, he's a very spiritual person with going out to India and all the rest of it, all that side of it. But he also claims, John Lennon himself claims to have seen a crying lady ghost in the corridors of the Dakota.
That's interesting.
So, yeah, he's not only...
You saying about that brings me back to memory that when Mark Bolan was starting to get really big, he was in one of his hotel rooms and he claims to have seen a family of spirits of like mother, father, and children that's in spirit of Jewish people. And he actually run away from the hotel and refused to stay there anymore. So, and the image that I found there is John Lennon actually signing an autograph to Mark David Chapman, the man who a couple of hours later shot him dead.
Yeah.
So,
well, the guy who claimed from Wales, who claimed that he actually claimed John Lennon taught him to play the guitar, as a retired printer, Mike Powell.
Oh, okay.
He says he's been haunted by John Lennon since he appeared at the end of his bed at his home in Abergele.
Okay.
He's appeared to him at least in spirit at least 50 times. And has passed on more than 350 tunes to him.
Well, John Lennon's obviously lost his touch because this bloke isn't famous.
Nope. The guy insists that he couldn't even strum a guitar before Lennon first appeared to him.
Yeah, the Dakota is supposedly pretty well haunted anyway.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, Lennon claimed to have seen this crying lady ghost walking around the corridors of the Dakota.
I think Joe mentioned about a lady ghost at Dakota in one of our other streams.
Yes. Yeah, I remember that.
That's interesting. And the fact though that image there of John Lennon with Mark David Chapman, literally hours before Chapman shot him, that is. I'm not a fan of Lennon. You know, I've heard all the story. I've even heard it from his own mouth in interviews he's done. How he used to beat his first wife and all sorts of things. He weren't the nicest person in the world, but that picture is still quite an ominous image, really.
Well, again, you get stalkers, and apparently Chapman was a stalker, so they do try and get close to the victims, and there have been other cases of that where there's been photographs taken with a famous person and they're in the background. I think because it was Lennon, it became a massive thing that, a couple of hours before, but...
And there's also the stories as well. Is it the Abbey Road album, I think, where they're crossing the zebra crossing?
Where McCartney's dead and he's not wearing shoes because that proves he's dead.
And Lennon's supposed to be the grave. I think George is supposed to be the grave digger. And
well, I must be dead then because I haven't got shoes on at the moment.
Nor have I. So I think that's why the dog's asleep. So I think the smell of my feet's knocked her out. Right. So I'll take it. We're going over to Joe now.
All right. I'm in the process of putting up some photos.
Most beautiful woman that ever was in Hollywood.
She's pretty cute. Yeah.
That's weird. I've got that exact outfit on now.
But this is, of course, Marilyn Monroe, and we're chatting about her a little bit.
That image just reminds me of 3 Men and a Little Baby.
That's the mirror.
That's the mirror.
Yes.
It used to be on the mezzanine level above the main check-in, above the bar area there, the Roosevelt Hotel. And
Yes,
I used
yeah.
to go into the Roosevelt a lot. Anytime I had company over, or we were going to go over there and do walk around looking for ghostesses or something, and just went over to Hollywood and Vine area. I love to go into the Roosevelt because you sit in the lobby down there, right outside the bar. I'd get myself a beer and sit there in the couches, and you feel like there's people watching you
Yeah.
the whole time, even if there's nobody there but the bartender. I felt like I was being watched from people up on the mezzanine level. Well, you could go up on the mezzanine, and it used to be that Marilyn Monroe's picture or a mirror was hanging there, the same one that she'd check her look when she'd get ready to go out and stuff like that. Was that mirror. And it got to the point, from what I understand, it got to the point where there were so many people up there looking at the mirror, taking pictures of the mirror, doing all that kind of stuff, that they moved it to another spot in the hotel where you have to be a guest to get to it.
From my research, when I was looking, Marilyn Monroe obviously did come up because obviously how famous she was.
Yeah.
Supposedly, she's seen in the mirror when it was in room 1200.
Yes. Well, she was seen in the mirror when it was on the mezzanine as well.
Yeah.
So that's what they were trying to capture, taking the pictures.
Okay.
So, but they moved it to another spot. I don't know where, because I've never been a ghost at the Roosevelt or a guest at the Roosevelt. I've been a ghost there either. But it was always interesting. She used to live at the Roosevelt. She lived there for about 2 years before she really took off and became very famous. She used to have a cabana suite thing right by the poolside. And that's where you'd see a lot of the pictures taken of her by the poolside, sitting in the chairs, doing that kind of stuff, the poolside views. She would be right outside of her hotel room there at the Roosevelt.
Oh, that's where it was done. Okay.
Yeah.
So we talked about the mirror briefly, but yeah, you could see, supposedly you'd see images of Marilyn Monroe in the mirror, like she's checking herself out and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's one of the reports that I saw. Yeah.
Of course, that's just a cardboard cutout there in the mirror, sitting over in the corner. But they would see her in full apparition in the hallways and suites, including the one that's named after her, and the Blossom Ballroom. Cold spots, perfume sense of being watched, all that kind of stuff is going on. So they see her there quite often. Then her house in Brentwood. There was a picture of her house there. One right after the mirror.
Yeah.
But that's her house there. Current and former residents both have described unexplained footsteps, whispers, voices at nights, doors opening and closing, and the feeling of being gently hugged, which is good, or watched. Some visitors report overwhelming sadness or a presence in the bedroom area. Then
I did see bits where it said about the hugging actually, and there's a couple of people that have I don't know if they live there now or if it's still standing or whatever, but allegedly there has been tenants that claim that they felt a kiss them on the cheek.
Yeah, I just put a new picture up there at the end. That, of course, is her tomb covering.
Yeah,
she's in a slider box up there at the cemetery. So that's just a little.
She's supposed to appear next to a tomb as well as a pink mist.
Yes, that's what I was getting into.
Yeah.
I'll have to hear that.
But there's a cemetery. She's fans leave lipstick on her tomb, of course. And reports include a pinkish mist or a glowing figure near her crypt, soft crying sounds, flashes of light, cold spots, and the sensation of someone brushing past. Orbs frequently appear in photos taken there. As we all know, orbs, especially if there's a red circle around it.
Oh, yeah, and an arrow.
A big wavy red arrow.
Yes, pointing to the red circle. Yeah. But other reported sightings, she's supposedly been seen sitting wistfully. How do you sit wistfully on a bench at the Hippodrome on the Santa Monica
You can
Pier?
look wistful. I don't know. You can sit.
I don't know. You just sort of like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Various ladies' rooms across Los
Wistfully.
Angeles, hotels and venues. They've seen her in there, in those places. And occasional reports at other Hollywood hotspots tied to her life. Witnesses usually describe her as an ethereal, sad, wistful lady wearing a white dress. And she's not menacing, of course, but it's more like a lingering, melancholy presence.
I would love to go over there and do the whole Marilyn. There's something about her that just appeals to me.
I'll tell you, Marilyn could kiss me on the cheek anytime she wanted to.
Yeah,
she
was
the most stunning woman in Hollywood ever.
She was stunning, but there's something about her life story and everything that just I'd love to find out the truth. And one of them, people ask you if you could bring a celebrity back, who would it be? If you could make contact with a celebrity on the other side, who would it be? And mine's
Joanne.
Hey, Joanne. Mine is got to be Marilyn.
She was such a beautiful woman.
Yeah,
it really was. You know,
not celebrities, psychics claimed to have been in touch with her.
Yeah,
and she's allegedly said that the overdose was not suicide. It was an accident.
I don't think it was suicide either. I think she was killed.
I personally, I think she was killed, but she's allegedly come out and said that it was.
Well,
it was an accident.
The famous "Happy Birthday, Mr. President" thing. Apparently, she was absolutely rat-assed when she done that, and she really embarrassed him. So, yeah, I can well believe that.
Well, he was big into the mob and all that lot,
and from what I've heard about her as well, she pretty much went through each and every one of the Kennedy brothers. So, from what I heard, but how true that is, none of us were there, so we don't know. But
that's one of the reasons I'd love to actually be able to get in contact, just to get the story.
She died on my birthday 2 years before I was born. August 5th of 1962, she was born.
Wow.
Or she died, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I was born 2 years later. Reincarnated. Can't you see the
I was going to say, you can nearly see the... I mean, the shadow behind you looks just like it.
Yeah. I've been trying to quit smoking.
You need to be careful where you're pointing that.
Yeah,
I was just going to say that.
If Joe goes to the side of it, he's going to get it in the ear, isn't he? I think. Right. I weren't sure. I've got quite a few. They're only brief snippets I've written down. And I wasn't sure which one to go with first, but I've decided on this young man.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes.
The wonderful, wonderful comedian Robin Williams.
Yes.
Right, hold on. I wrote a bit down here. I've just got to try and remember where I put it. Right. It is claimed that in his former home in Tyburn, his former Tyburn home, it's claimed that he's regularly heard giggling. And that when the giggling starts, electrical anomalies start. The lights go on and off. The microwave will ping. The weirdest thing is the stereo would turn itself on and off. The weirdest thing, allegedly, is that after his giggles, the TV will turn on. And security staff have claimed that when this has happened, it'll be old video clips of him or video clips of like Abbott and Costello, Charlie Chaplin, Laurel and Hardy. Known to be a practical joker in life, people have claimed that along with the electronic giggles, it's claimed there's brief fleeting shadows of him, cold spots, and gentle loving touches and cuddles are felt. So I must have written this when I was in my sleep because the spelling on that is even worse than my usual spelling. Now, Robin Williams, that is one spirit that would be amazing to come and visit you.
Yep.
And he's just the kind of person that definitely would.
Yeah.
Yes. But again, as with a lot of these people who take their own lives, he spent his life trying to make up and make people laugh.
Improve things for everybody.
Yeah, when his own personality internally must have been so.
Yeah. Well, I watched this.
It's like they say about therapists. We help other people fight their demons so we can carry on ignoring ours.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Funny enough, Linda's.
He was another one who also believed in the afterlife, though.
Mm-hmm.
He was a strong believer in both heaven and hell.
I'm trying to remember the name of that movie where he's escorting the children spirits when they're about to leave and become human.
I know. What Dreams May Come, is that the one?
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I love that movie.
That is such a heartbreaking
again,
movie.
People have asked the question whether it's the thing is actually coming true.
Yeah.
Yeah. He had, and we said, I think it was like about 2 weeks ago when we done famous movies. We mentioned about James Belushi. Robin Williams had actually been there on doing a drug binge with him the day that Belushi died.
Yeah.
So, you know, it makes you wonder as well. Robin was getting dementia. It's a known fact Robin was getting dementia. He weren't remembering his lines. And there is, like, in the last film he made, I think was Night at the Museum 2, I think.
Yeah.
And you can see the director says, when he was working with Robin, he said he caught him several times crying because he literally couldn't remember his lines.
Yeah.
And he said, Robert, you could see that there was definitely something wrong with him.
That's the worst point, where your brain is still good enough to know, I should know this.
Yes.
But you can't do it. That's the absolute worst point.
Well, I work, as I've said before, I worked 26 years with people with dementia and things, and it is a killer. You know, you lose the person dies twice with dementia.
Yeah.
That person dies every day with it.
Yeah, it is absolutely awful. There's a gentleman that I helped look after, and he'd actually played for the England rugby team back in the 40s. You know, and if it weren't for the images, he wouldn't have even known that he'd been there.
Yeah.
It is so heartbreaking. You know, and Robin, he was so busy making other people laugh, just so, as Linda said, to keep away his own demons.
Mm-hmm.
So there is the side that the aspect is the dementia caused by the amount of drugs that he done, but that still don't make it any less of a loss.
No,
it could be a potential, but I do think a lot of, with how brutal that takes hold of people.
Yeah.
I don't think it's just how you've lived your life. I think there has to be some kind of genetic coding.
Possibly,
in it.
Yeah. Well, when I was doing the last place that I worked at, which was just as COVID was kicking in, I worked frontline during COVID. And then one thing led to another, and I ended up telling them to stick the job up the backsides. But yeah, no, there was a case back then. You automatically assume that dementia is like an old person, and that one of the training sessions that we went to do to like update and like you regularly have to do, there was a child back in 2019 over in California, funny enough, that was 17 months old that had got diagnosed with dementia. Oh. And there was one just about a fortnight ago, a 6-year-old had been diagnosed with it. So it just shows you it can hit anybody at any time.
It's to me, it's a bit like arthritis. Everybody thinks of it as an old folks problem, but it's not. You know,
I've had arthritis since I was 9.
Yeah, I'm technically undiagnosed, but I've had arthritis lumps and bumps on my fingers since I was 11. So,
but yeah, no, Robin Williams, you know, I absolutely I loved Mork and Mindy. And
no.
yeah, I was watching a documentary about Robin. I can't remember if it was the beginning of this year or towards the end of last year. And a lot of the things that Robin came out with, like Shazbot and things like that, these different weird words he said on Mork and Mindy, is because while he was filming, he had a tendency to drop the F-bomb or the C word and all that, just make people laugh. And they kept having a go at him for doing that. So obviously back then it was filmed in front of a live audience and you can't really do that sort of thing. So what they've done, they had somebody on the screen, somebody offset, because when they started having to go into that, he started bringing in words of different languages that were swear words. So they had a linguist or whatever they're called offset. So if he said something in a foreign language, they could go, you can't say that. That's against the rules. So that's why they started bringing the things like Shazbot and all that. For his way of swearing without causing too many problems, apparently.
But some of them do sound like gobbledygook. I mean, I know a sweary phrase that's in a dialect from up in the mountains in northern Italy. And it does sound like gobbledygook because it's a fangulagoo yashmak, which just sounds like gobbledygook.
That rings a bell. It's
like leave the room in short, jerky movements, you useless female part.
Oh yeah, all right. I remember when I must have been about 15 or 16. I wanted to try moussaka for the first time because I was huge into lasagna. And moussaka is pretty much the same thing. And I wanted to try that, but I couldn't remember the name. And I was living in a B&B at the time that the council were paying for. And there was a Greek woman that had come over to England. This was up in Dovercourt. And I called it Malakis by mistake. And she sat there and laughed. And I said, why? What's funny? That's what it's called, isn't it? She went, no, you're thinking moussaka. I went, oh, yeah, that's the thing. She goes, Malakis means F you.
I used to use that all the time.
Yeah, well, I worked with a Asian lad. He was a clerk of works. He used to come out and check our works when we were doing Shrewsbury Bypass. And I can't remember his name, but we used to call, I think it's something like Prikash or something like that. And we were calling him this name for the ages, and he got upset. Why are you getting upset? That's your name, innit? It was certainly how it was spelt.
Yeah.
And apparently we were calling him rude, like you said, female parts.
When I was with
we'd no idea. That's how his name was spelt. So we were just going phonetic.
Is that not standard practice for building site talk, especially in the 80s?
Oh yeah, the thing was we weren't calling it him deliberately. We just thought it was his name.
Years ago, when I was in my early 20s as well, I lived in Stratford. As you go Carpenter's Road, as you go down to go towards Hackney. We lived in flats there called Lund Point, and I had a Indian friend there. And when he came over, he just laughed. I was like, "What are you laughing at?" He goes, "The name of your building." And I go, "Why?" He goes, "Because in my language, Lund is the C word for a lady part." So I remember that well. Right, back over to Linda then.
Right, just because so many have said they didn't know about the Star Trek thing, I've looked up some details of it for you.
Oh, yeah.
So, Lucy had, let's go back to the bullet points version. So she's widely credited with saving the original Star Trek from cancellation before it ever made it to TV. As the head of Desilu Productions, she bought Arnaz out of the studio in 1962 after the divorce, which meant the whole thing's run by her. And she had been voted against. So she became the first female head of a major Hollywood studio. In 1964, she heard Gene Roddenberry's pitch and loved it. It was going to be a huge financial risk. Now, there's a big myth saying that she misunderstood the title Star Trek and thought it was a group of entertainers traveling to perform the troops. That's an absolute myth. She backed it. She loved the idea. The first pilot was called The Cage. NBC threw it out completely, saying it was too cerebral. People wouldn't get it. Desilu's board of directors voted unanimously to cancel the expensive failing project. And when we say failing, they were losing $15,000 per episode, which nowadays would translate to 50,000.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah. But she kept doing it because she was like, people are going to get it. People are going to pick it up. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. So she kept on with it. While also doing that, she had also sunk money from the studio into other things that you might have heard of. The Andy Griffith Show, The Life and Legend of Wyatt Earp, and The Dick Van Dyke Show.
I can't believe he's still going.
Yeah. The studio was in dire need of original programming of its own following the end of The Untouchables, which was also filmed there. Herbert Solow, hired to help locate new projects, brought two notable proposals to her in 1964. One was another show you might have heard of, Mission Impossible.
Yep.
The other was Roddenberry's Sci-Fi Idea. Lucy's long-term network CBS said no to Star Trek. Solow and Roddenberry took it to NBC. Sci-Fi was alien to the network schedule, but it ordered a pilot. According to Solow and Mark Cushman's history, These Are the Voyages. Lucy initially thought about the myth, but it's wrong. She overruled her board of directors to make sure that the first episode was produced. Her support was even more critical when NBC rejected the initial pilot in 1965, and NBC ordered a second pilot, which introduced Shatner as Kirk, which Lucy agreed to help finance again over her board's objections.
By all accounts, the crew on Star Trek couldn't stand Shatner.
I'm not surprised.
I've heard of a lot of nasty things about him.
Star Trek made the fall 1966 schedule, and the pilot won its time slot, though it later suffered in the ratings. If it was not for Lucy, there would be no Star Trek today.
You saying about Lucille Ball and Star Trek kind of brings a space thing into it. There's an interview out there with Lucille Ball. Apparently she'd had a filling done and she was picking up radio signals from the government via this filling in a tooth.
Yeah. People get that a lot. I used to get that once in a while too.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of cases of that. People picking things up.
Yeah.
Strange when you open your mouth and that wasn't me said that. Honest.
Yeah, I mean, building a little radio is really easy. You don't need a power source. You don't need anything. You know,
No.
just it's very simple to do. It just picks up the waves in the air, and then you heterodyne it down to get to audio
Yeah.
frequencies. And
That
then
must,
adjust it.
that must freak you out if you suddenly started hearing voices in your head and that.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I always
Yeah.
hear voices in my head. It's just radio coming up with your advertisements. That's what freaked me out.
as Perry said, I didn't know any
Yeah.
of this. I did not know any about this Star
Yeah,
Trek stuff.
it's well, there's a bit on Reddit as well. The only problem with Star Trek, the original series, was that her pockets weren't deep enough. As I said, they were losing $15,000 an episode, which would be like $500,000 per episode today. And the board kept saying, "We're not a big studio. We can't afford this. It'll break us." And she's like, "No, we'll get through it. Give me another 6 months. We'll get through it." It worked out. But by the end of the second season, once they had enough episodes, Star Trek was playing in 60 different countries around the world.
Christ.
And all of that money was starting to flow back in. But she couldn't lose those last extra 6 months. She was
Sorry. Don't mean to interrupt. I'm sat here. I'm looking like towards the screen, and I've literally just seen a shadow figure walk from my bedroom into my bathroom.
Yeah.
That's weird. Sorry, go on, carry on. I'm gonna activate this and see if anything comes up while we were doing it. Sorry about that, Ben.
Yep.
It's all right. She was several $1 million shy of being able to hang on for that last 6 months, and couldn't go out and get bank loans back then like you can today. You can't keep going on credit cards, so she had no choice but to sell. She took off and went to Miami, ran away because it was so heartbreaking to sign the contract over. They had to track her down to get her to do it. There's a picture of her cutting the ribbon after they've torn down the wall between Paramount and Desilu, and she's standing next to the CEO of Gulf and Western, which owns both studios now. And the frozen expression on her face is like she's trying to put on a brave face for the photographer. Paramount took over halfway through the second season and started tightening the budget. Paramount's attitude to Star Trek was, "You're not going to ruin us like you ruined Desilu." Lucille Ball lost her studio because of Star Trek. She had gambled on the show, and you can read more memos where her board of directors is saying, "Don't do this, it's going to kill us." But she believed in it. She moved forward with it. And halfway into the second season, she had to sell out to Paramount Pictures. And once Paramount Pictures came in, they said, "We're going to run this like a business. You're not going to go over budget anymore." Lucille gave up the studio. It's all she had left of her marriage. She sacrificed all of it for Star Trek.
And you think Star Trek has got to be one of the most famous sci-fi series ever now?
The syndication was her idea in trying to spin out more money out of it. So Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, all the rest of it, the actual syndication for different plot lines is from her original ideas.
Yeah.
So it's not just the original, it's all the different versions of Star Trek. It's because she backed it, and she lost everything because of it, but she made sure the name got out there and it stuck.
Cool. You think how much money just that alone nowadays, that IP for Star Trek is worth nowadays? So, I did used to watch Star Trek when I was younger, but it was mainly because there was literally nothing else on at the time. I can't say I was ever a fan.
That's the only time I ever watched Deep Space Nine was because there was nothing else on.
Yeah. I've never really been one into sci-fi. It's like I absolutely detest the Star Wars films. Yeah, everyone says, Star Wars. But everyone said, "Oh, wow, it's the best thing since sliced bread." I personally can't stand it. I
can tolerate Star Wars, but I'm more a Trekkie than a Sith or a Jedi. So,
someone's alarm's going off.
No, it's my washing machine singing its song to tell you it's done.
Right. Over to you then, Ian.
My next one, you might recognise him.
Oh, sorry, the
He's
dog's
fairly famous. If I can get a photo up of him.
Yeah.
Hang on, bear with me.
I wrote all these stories down, but I'm having to grab the pictures because I did have the photo.
Yeah, I didn't get
for
any
each of the
pictures
story.
down either.
I had a photo for each of the little incidents that I've written down, and I accidentally deleted it, and I've only just remembered that I deleted it. Oh, yeah.
It's this gentleman.
Oh, yeah.
No idea who that is.
Nah, he's. I believe he's
That's Bob
famous.
Monkhouse, isn't it?
No, Bob Monkhouse's mom isn't Cherokee, or is it Cheyenne? I can't remember.
Yes, Mr. Presley.
Yeah.
I
Another
do.
one,
I'm not a great lover of country music and that sort of thing, but I do like some of his stuff. It's absolutely brilliant.
I wouldn't even
Died
class him country.
famously on the toilet, eating deep fried peanut butter sandwiches, apparently, or depending on who you believe, eating deep fried squirrel. But Gracelands is where he is most famous for haunting. Visitors and staff have reported seeing a shadow person or a figure looking out the upstairs windows. Some people even claim to have seen a transparent figure walking among the trees. Las Vegas encounters. He played Las Vegas quite a few times. 837 consecutive shows. Staff often report old tricks like technical issues and sightings near the backstage area. Basically hanging out where he used to.
Yeah.
People have also claimed to have seen Elvis walking around in glasses and disappearing. It's one of those. Do you believe that he died?
Well, there is that guy. There is that preacher that claims to actually be Elvis, isn't there?
Well, there's a guy who works down our chip shop, swears he's Elvis.
We put up a few more pictures of the Elvis stuff.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Quickly, there's another one that I've just. It came to my mind and I grabbed it. Where is it? Where did it go? Here it is. Right now, this image, very well-known image.
Yeah.
It was taken the year after 1978. So it was a year after he died, 2 years after he died. I can't remember if it was 76 or 77 he died. 77, wasn't it? This was allegedly was taken in 78. It's the pool house at Graceland. Now, some people say it's an image of his ghost. Others say it's proof that he didn't die and he was actually just sat there watching people walk around Graceland. I don't know what people's thoughts are on that.
If it was a fake your own death, you're hardly going to sit in the window and watch folk walking around your property.
Yeah.
Because that's just blatantly asking for an investigation by the FBI and the financial authorities too.
Right, and you're not going to sit there as a preacher tell everybody that you're Elvis.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, there was that guy that I signed who claims that he's Elvis, and supposedly, allegedly, DNA has proved that he is. Oh, this is his brother's. Is this his one or his brother's grave?
Okay. Elvis Aaron Presley.
Yeah, it's his.
See, now that's another thing that.
Yeah, his middle name was his dead brother's name. Yeah.
And also on the grave, it's Aaron is spelled AAARON, yet on his birth certificate it's ARON. So allegedly, that's another proof that he didn't really die. Is that the person that done it actually spelled his name wrong. And there's also the alleged, on his autopsy papers, the person that signed it off is something to do with like because he was an honorary CIA agent, wasn't he? Nixon or someone gave him an honorary CIA badge.
Yep.
And allegedly the name on his death certificate is the same name that he was given as an undercover name as a CIA agent. It's all up in the air to me. I'm not so sure, but
well, I've got a video.
Oh yeah.
So if I share my screen,
is this the window video?
These are top 10.
Oh, okay.
Elvis ghost stories by a guy called woman called Alpha 11. So
go on, Ed. Let's go on, Ed. We'll see if we can work out whether he faked his death or whether it was real or not.
Yeah, I'd say that's a somebody.
Yep. I've seen that. It's got to be real because the circle's there, as Joe just said.
Yep. That doesn't look like Elvis. It does look like definitely a person.
That don't look like him either.
No.
Depends on the angle. It looks like he stuck his head through a hedge.
Yeah, but I was looking at the length of the nose.
And that one, I'm not sure of.
Image I just had, yeah. That does look like Elvis.
This one.
That looks like someone's
dancing. Yeah. Look at those legs moving.
No, that one is just ridiculous.
That one needs
you look. No, that is.
That one, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Exactly. But the one before.
If it's not him, it's a very thin KD Lang if it's not him.
Yeah. That could literally be anything.
Yeah, that could be anybody.
Yeah. He's got the hairstyle, but you'd expect that.
You'd expect that from that generation, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, but you'd expect that from the fans. Yeah, that looks like
it's pareidolia, that one, without that.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say it was something superimposed.
Possibly, yeah. So, well, any other stories about Mr. Presley?
Well, like I said, there's a few where he's supposedly where the RCA building used to be, the RCA headquarters. He's been seen walking round there, and again, people doing recordings and everything. And when his name gets mentioned, the lights flicker or go out.
Yeah,
amps blow up.
Yeah,
things like that. Sound system goes haywire. Whether you believe it's Elvis or not is another matter, but
yeah.
Well, yeah, technically it could be anybody, really.
Exactly.
But
right,
he's the most famous person who's been there, so
yeah,
obviously it's Elvis.
Right, so I'll take it. We're over to Joe. Oh,
this is a gentleman named Montgomery Clift.
He was on the one list I saw.
Yeah. All right, I'll leave this one to you. Yeah, I'll take this one off my list.
So we're going to go back to the Roosevelt Hotel, Hollywood Roosevelt. He stayed there for 3 months in room number 928 while filming his iconic role as Private Pruitt in From Here to Eternity. He was a dedicated method actor who rehearsed extensively, of course. He used to play his bugle or trumpet for his role late into the night, and guests and staff still report hearing the eerie sound of the trumpet or bugle playing from the room or echoing in the hallways.
That's a
I could see that at 2 o'clock in the morning, sitting there playing your bugle in a fancy hotel like that. So even when the room is empty, they've heard it. Apparitions and pacing. Many claim to see Clift's full apparition pacing the ninth floor hallways or inside room 928 as if rehearsing lines. He's often described as looking intense or brooding. Method actor. Lights go on and off, TV or radio goes on and off, raising or lowering the room's temperature, turning up the heat, cold spots and strong feelings of being watched, etc., etc. Staff and female guests reported being brushed against, patted on the shoulder, or even gently tucked into bed by an unseen presence. Some describe a flirtatious or protective male energy. His life was troubled after a serious 1956 car accident that left him in chronic pain, scarred and increasingly reliant on drugs and alcohol. He died in 1966 at the age of 45. Many paranormal investigators believe his restless spirit lingers due to unfinished potential and personal demons, unfinished potential and personal demons, and brooding presence seems to be frustrated or melancholy. Other places that he's been seen is his house in New York, which is that brownstone type place that's his LA house there. The one just before that's a brownstone, New York City. The LA house, he's been seen there. He's been seen at the New York house.
That doesn't look real.
No.
What, that house?
That house.
It was back in black. Yeah, it was back in black and white days.
Yeah,
back before we had colors.
It looks like a studio set, a model.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen 2 or 3 pictures of his house in LA, and they all look like that. So maybe they are fake. I don't know. But interesting person, Montgomery Clift. Made lots and did lots of stuff, and very brooding type person. But apparently he was a very decent, nice person, even though he was in a lot of pain.
That's not very common in Hollywood nowadays, is it? A decent person.
He was supposed to haunt Hollywood writer and actor Craig Chester.
Oh, yeah.
He claims that Montgomery Clift was actually helped him and guided him in his directing in that.
Okay.
I do. So the little bit I read about it.
I do know the name. But I must say I couldn't say, oh yeah, he's been in this film or that film. But I know of the name. But I don't know literally any of his films he's ever been in. So I'm going to be cheeky and I'm going to do that. So anyone that is watching, please subscribe. We're trying to get to the 200 mark. We're only about 30 away now, so we're doing well. So anything more about him, Joe?
The Young Lions he was in suddenly last summer.
Oh, Young Lions, I've heard of that one.
Place in the Sun, Here to Eternity, Red River, The Misfits, Raintree County. He did quite a few. Wild River.
Welcome those.
Rio Bravo. I'm just going through. There's a whole bunch of these here.
Yeah. See, the names of the films, I know of them, but unless I actually sat down, I couldn't tell you off the top of my head whether I had watched them or not. Because growing up, my father's sister, she loved all the old black and white films. When I used to go and visit, we'd sit down, we'd watch the old Charlie Chaplin and Harold Lloyd and Abbott and Costello and all the old Hammer films. So one of his films may have been one of the ones that she'd showed me, but off the top of my head, I couldn't say, oh yes, I've definitely seen this film. So, right. I've got a really good one here, and it's a bit of a creepy one. Well, not creepy, but he's known for creepy films. Bela Lugosi. So, the stories on Bela Lugosi, if I get my glasses. Right, Bela Lugosi is alleged to still haunt his Hollywood home. A neighbor has seen a tall man in a cloak standing at the window when they knew that the house was empty. Lugosi in life was 6'1". Actually, I didn't realize he was that tall. A tenant a former tenant of the house has said the former tenant of Dracula stardom has been seen dressed as a cloaked figure walking past them as they did their teeth in the bathroom. They're standing at the mirror, and allegedly a tall figure in a cloak walk behind them. Neighbours also claim to see a tall man in black, dressed in black, on the stairs, who disappears when the lights get turned on, allegedly. So now it's possible. God, them eyes, I can see why he got that role with them eyes. That is absolutely terrifying. So an icon in the horror movies, Bela Lugosi, the best Dracula there's ever been. It does sound to me, though, these stories of him standing at the stairs dressed in black with a cloak, and standing at the windows dressed in a cloak, and walking past a mirror dressed in a cloak, it sounds very cliched. Very, oh, well, he's known for Dracula, so he would have walked around it dressed as Dracula all the time. Although I have heard that he was buried in his Dracula costume.
Yes, I believe he was. Hang on, I've just seen something on that. I can find it. Now,
there is the old meme that goes around Facebook every now and then in the paranormal groups. Don't forget that if you was to die today, what you're wearing is what you're wearing for the rest of eternity.
Yeah,
it's not a silly old meme, but if it is his spirit that is being seen, is it because he was buried in the Dracula costume? Or is it just that, this used to be Bela Lugosi's house, so
automatically...
Yeah. I was actually just looking for this image. Here we go. 56. I thought it was out by a couple of years. Now, obviously dressed like that for his funeral. Is it because people associate him with that costume as Dracula, alleged sightings? They go, well, if it's Bela Lugosi, he's got to have been dressed as Dracula. Or is it his spirit is actually wearing what he was buried in?
Possibly a case of both.
Possibly.
There is a song called Bela Lugosi's Ghost.
Bela Lugosi's dead. Bauhaus.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I knew there was a song about him.
Yeah.
He was also haunted himself.
Oh, I didn't know about this.
From all accounts, he was haunted by a woman with yellow eyes.
Oh, yeah.
She haunted his dreams, and she was present in his apartment during his death.
Yeah. I didn't know. I've not heard of this one.
Yeah, as I was looking into him, it came up that he was actually haunted himself. There's not a lot said about it. But she was allegedly in the building when he died.
Mm.
And I believe it's put in the lyrics of the song as well.
Do you know what? It's a long time since I listened to that song. The interesting thing is, Bauhaus were the first band that brought about the goth and goth music. Yeah. First goth band. So, do you know what? After this, I've got to listen to that song again, because I haven't listened to that for years.
Well, there's a group, like I say, if I can find it.
And the intro to Bela Lugosi's Dead, that's an iconic.
Yes, I had to jump in because I have the same birthday as Bela Lugosi, obviously not the same year.
You look really good.
I was going to say, you're looking bloody well for it.
And I put into the Facebook chat a copy of his signature because it's similar to mine.
Yes, I've just seen it. Yeah.
So if I do that to show you my signature,
Yeah.
I'll
and
bring
then
up.
you've got your image.
Yeah, it's certainly very close.
Yeah.
Where is it?
You're channeling your inner Bella. Where is Bella tonight, Carl?
Snoring and farting by the side of me at the moment. The room stinks of dog. So she's eaten a lot today. She's had quite a few treats, so she's passed out on the sofa, bless her. So Deaky keeps trying to come up and get attention, though, didn't you? Eh? Bless it. Right. I've just downloaded it. If I bring up.
Okay.
Oh, Christ.
Yeah.
That's very, very similar.
And that's how I always sign my name. Even when you look up, I mean, that's really only like a snippet because the website I took it off of is completely changed now. So I could only get it from the old Facebook link that I posted years ago. And it's just like a snippet of his signature. But when you see his full signature, there are so many similarities to my signature that when I first found it, of course, being a horror movie fan, running a ghost tour business, when I found out I shared his birthday, I had to do a bit of research. But when I found his signature, I was literally sitting there going, oh my God, what? How? What? So,
yeah.
And did you know the first 4 movies he did, he didn't actually speak English. He learned his lines phonetically and had no clue what he was saying.
Yeah, I had heard that.
Antonio Banderas did the same with the first couple he did.
Didn't the guy that did There Can Be Only One, Highlander?
Yes, he did the same.
Didn't he not speak English and everything he did was French? And he had to learn it phonetically, his lines?
And the fact that he's got he's visually impaired as well, swinging a sword around, I would not have wanted to be on that set. So
yeah, what was that?
As Michael Jackson said, the joke we used to say
soundtrack by Queen as well. So
as we used to say in high school, one of the old jokes when you're messing around with somebody who's visually impaired with a sword, Michael Jackson would say if he ever had leprosy, it's just another part of me. Sorry.
What I'll do actually, I'm going to quickly.
There's an Uber just pulling up outside, Lynn.
It'll be the only one in the closest 70 miles. They don't exist up here. You can't even get Uber.
I've just sent it.
We just got Uber.
Yeah,
we haven't had Uber in a long ever, and just the past month or so, they've opened it up to Uber. So there's 6 Ubers now.
The website's advertising for drivers in this area, but the furthest north that they go so far is Aberdeen, which is 70 miles away.
Bela Lugosi is also linked to a haunted mirror.
Oh, I didn't hear about this one.
And the mirror reportedly passed to a man named Frank Saletri, who was later brutally murdered, continuing the dark reputation of Bela Lugosi in these mirror. But it's like we've said before. Yes, famous people die or ghosts die, and then someone gets hold of something and dies 30 years later.
Yeah.
Oh, it must be the ghost of.
Exactly. Like we said the other week about the King Tut's supposed curse. The first death didn't occur until 14 years after the tomb was opened.
Yeah.
So and that was from a bar fight. That was from a bar fight. How many people get killed in bar fights yearly?
Yeah, King Tut, his spirit's got to get all the way over from Egypt. Took him a long while to walk over.
What I will quickly do, because I know we're back to Linda, but being as we was just hello, Elsa.
Yeah,
I've got my little fella here. He's coming to bug me. Keeps sticking his claws in. Those that I will say, those that are watching, don't forget to click the subscribe because we're trying to get to the 200. But as we're doing about Bella,
that's easy for you to say.
Yeah. But as we're doing about Bella Lugosi, I'll bring this gentleman up.
Oh, yes.
There's also a couple of others that run within it. Right. Vincent Price.
Yes.
Vincent Price's ghost is claimed to be seen pacing backstage in old theatres where he'd acted. Actors claim to regularly see him dressing in the dressing rooms, mirror, smiling. During one dress rehearsal, an unnamed actor said a cloaked man appeared in front of him out of nowhere, and another has claimed to have been sat applying makeup when the same cloaked man appeared behind him in the mirror. He turned in shock to find he was alone in the room, but the smell of cigars the room was filled with the smell of cigars. So,
because he was doing proper theatre, from his 20s, and I think in his first couple of movies he did, I think he was still in his 20s, and he was a very good looking young man.
Dr. Pibes and all of those.
He was a brilliant actor. Scared the bloody living hell out of you.
Fall of the House of Usher was the first movie to properly scare me, and I was about 11.
I think the first one I remember with him in that actually scared me was Mask of the Red Death.
Yeah.
And that's just, I've not seen that film since I was a kid, but on the same theme of them actors, we have this one as well. Here we go.
Peter Lorre.
Oh,
Peter
yes.
Lorre. Yeah. Right now, I've got quite a few from the Hammer films that I found. There seem to be quite a few of them. I'm just trying to find. I've got about 20 years. I'm just trying to find Peter Lorre.
He's always a scary man.
Oh, he used to really, really freak me out when I was younger. Oh no, it's Lon Chaney.
It was that voice.
Yes.
Oh, God, yeah.
Totally.
Right, yeah. Peter Lorre is claimed to still walk the stages of Warner Brothers Studios. A night guard claims to have saw a man in an old trench coat with sunken eyes standing beside a soundstage. The lights flickered and then the figure vanished, leaving the smell of cigars. So yet another one with the smell of cigars. I'll do this.
When you think of all the horror movie, all the Hammer horror crowd.
Oh, Christ,
the majority of them smoke cigars. I think Peter Cushing was the only one that actually smoked cigarettes rather than a cigar. Yeah. Christopher Lee loved his cigars even into older age.
Yep.
Yeah. And one final one I'll quickly do because it's on the same theme is this gentleman.
Lon Chaney.
Lon Chaney. Right. Now, this one I actually took from about.
It's like looking in the mirror.
It almost looks a bit like the Hume Goo. You know, the one where Vincent Price takes the human to the nightclub and he tells them about the half-breeds between werewolves, vampires, and ghouls. And the Hume Goo is a half-breed between a ghoul and a human. And that looks very like the Hume Goo character.
Yeah.
Monsters Bubble or something like that.
Lon Chaney, Universal Studios, Stage 28. Right. Lon Chaney's Universal Studios, Stage 28, said to be haunted by none other than a man with 1,000 faces himself, Lon Chaney. Star of the films such as Phantom of the Opera, which is like the Image. Lon Chaney was the son of deaf mute, and because of this, he learnt at a young age to communicate by facial expressions. That is how he got the moniker of a man with 1,000 faces.
That makes sense.
Until its removal, the spirit of Chaney was reported more often than not to be sat on the corner of Hollywood and Vine, sitting at a bus stop watching the world go by. Lon Chaney died in 1930 at the age of 47 from throat cancer. Studio 28 said still to this day report the smell of cigars and cigarettes that the man smoked when he walked the boards.
Yeah,
So,
it's on the tour too. If you take the Universal Studios tour and you're on the little train, the tram running around all over the place, they hit all the different studios and tell you about all the stuff. And they mention his ghost there.
but I thought, being as I was doing that one, I thought, and it's from the same sort of era, and most of them were in the same sort of films. I quickly get them other three out.
Yeah.
So, right, Lynn, over to you.
Right, I'm trying to find one that hasn't been done now. We've done Marilyn, Orson Welles.
No,
I wouldn't claim Bonnie and Clyde as celebrities. We've done John Lennon.
They are infamous.
So take your pick. Bonnie and Clyde, Abraham Lincoln, Al Capone, Joan Crawford, or Orson Welles.
John Crawford.
Yeah, go, yeah.
Okay. From chorus line to silent screen to cinema legend, Joan Crawford's name is still synonymous with the glitz and glam of Hollywood's golden age. Throughout her 5-decade career, she became one of the most popular and well-paid actresses in her time. She and her family moved into a large mansion, which, according to her daughter, Christina, was haunted when they moved in. Concerned, the actress had an exorcism performed, but to no avail. After her death, Crawford's bedroom wall caught fire, seemingly without cause. The activity has continued and even increased, with several more exorcisms having been performed. Some believe that the former silver screen queen has joined the cast of spirits haunting the Los Angeles home. And that's all it's got.
She's very stern looking.
She's not exactly a nice lady. I mean, her daughter wrote that book, Mommy Dearest.
Okay, I've heard of the book. I haven't read it, but I've heard of it, yeah.
No more wire hangers, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. Oh, wow. She was very intense.
Yeah.
Well, she's also in the Blue Oyster Cult song, John Crawford is risen from the dead.
Good point.
So
I've got one here. And it also has a personal story attached because, that's what we do around here.
Yep.
Let me start with a couple of these pictures and upload them. You got like 6 of them or so. So a lot of this takes place up in Benedict Canyon in the Los Angeles area. And anybody know who that is?
Valentino.
I was going to say, is it Rudolph?
Yeah, that's Rudolph Valentino.
Yeah.
So he
so I've just got the lyrics from Manic Monday going from my head now.
I've got the actual song called Valentino going through my head, which has been put on a lot of Celtic folk CDs.
He was known as the Latin lover, but he was actually Italian. He's one of the most frequently reported ghosts. He died at the age of 31 from complications of ruptured ulcer.
Yeah.
And many believe that his spirit has lingered due to sudden death and attachment to his glamorous life. Now that picture right there is the Falcon's Nest. That's his house he built in 1925. Now,
beautiful house.
It doesn't exist so much anymore. Where's that other picture? Oh, dang it. Let me grab another one here. Oh, here it is. Okay.
Valentino, yeah. 31. I didn't think he was that young.
Yeah.
I,
That's why all the young ladies of that decade went into grief, because he was.
Oh, they went crazy.
yeah.
They went crazy. Okay, see this picture that's up here now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you look across the canyon, you'll see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 houses over there hanging off the cliff.
Yeah.
Valentino's house is the one here in the foreground, off to the right a little bit. Those other ones, one of those is Dave Ullman's house, where I did the investigation there.
All right.
That's where Manson murders took place, right down to the left, farther on down that road a little bit.
Christ.
Probably right where Linda's picture is where the house is that Sharon Tate was murdered in. Sharon Tate and all the rest of them. So we had finished doing an investigation at Dave Ullman's house, and I was cleaning up my gear and stuff. We were eating potato chips and chatting and talking and stuff.
Those are watching, please subscribe.
And his friend, Rob Lowe, not the actor one, but Rob Lowe, a friend of his, called and said, hey, it looks like there's a gate open over at Valentino's house.
Okay.
So Dave and we jumped in the car and we drove across the way, and there was a gate open. And the main house is torn down now. But the servants' house, the staff house, and the rest of the property and everything is almost how Valentino left it. So there's been changes, but not all that many. You know, the trees are still there, the steps are still there that they talked about, and all the stuff with his house are still there. But we went in, we walked all over the place there, and didn't run across anybody that, ghosted or whatever. But the feelings of being watched while you're there, I don't know if it was a camera system that was watching us, or if it was like something there watching us the whole time. It was pretty cool. It was a really good time. I think we spent like 3 hours over there wandering around every place, and all up and down the paths and everywhere. It was pretty cool.
Nice.
A little bit more about Mr. Valentino. Primary haunting, the Falcon's Lair, where his house was. He built a Spanish-style mansion, which is at 1436 Bella Drive, in 1925 for him and his second wife, Natasha. They see full apparitions of Valentino in the hallways, bedrooms, looking out from the second floor window. His figure, now, of course, the house is torn down, the main houses. So I don't know what you're going to see there. His figure is in the horse stables, petting or tending to horses. One stable worker reportedly quit after seeing him with a living horse.
No.
Passers-by and residents seeing a shadowy figure at windows or moving through the grounds. Hear footsteps, doors opening, closing, banging and tapping, all that kind of stuff going on. Millicent Rogers, who's a socialite, allegedly fled one night after claiming she was chased out by his spirit.
Wow. Okay.
Actor Harry Carey, who rented the house, investigated and attributed much of the activity to a former caretaker who staged fake seances with hidden wires, lights, and illusions to make Valentino's ghost appear for profit. Despite this, reports continued for decades. The mansion was later owned by Doris Duke and was demolished in 2006. Now, he's also seen in the Hollywood Forever Cemetery. He's buried in a crypt there, and his ghost has been seen walking through the grounds, even passing through walls into the adjacent Paramount Studios lot. The annual Lady in Black still visits. Well, supposedly still visits.
Yeah.
Some lady, they could never figure out who it was. Maybe they have since then. But,
I've just put a song into the Facebook chat that's actually about that lady.
Yeah. But she used to go in once a year and put a flower right there next to his tomb. Knickerbocker Hotel, which is now a bunch of apartments. Apparitions reported in hallways and specific rooms. The Knickerbocker isn't too terribly far from the Roosevelt. And his beach house in Oxnard or Ventura, Santa Maria Inn, knocking on doors, reclining on beds. The Alexandria Hotel, Musso and Frank's Grill, sightings in the bathroom. and even riding a white horse on the beach in a dramatic fashion, wearing a white outfit with a red rose in his teeth.
I was waiting to say that'll be the outfit from the Shake movie then.
Yep. His ghost is often described as elegant, dashing, and not particularly frightening. More like a restless celebrity who hasn't fully left the spotlight. His beloved Doberman, Pinscher Kabar, is also said to haunt the LA Pet Cemetery. So there you go. That's Rudolph Valentino. But I thought it was interesting having been to the house, and we're talking about him.
Yeah.
We went to the property, walked all over the place. We kept thinking we were going to get caught and kicked out and all that, but it was a great little visit.
The track I've put in the Facebook chat.
Yeah, I'll have a listen to that after.
Basically, they reckon this is an old lady that nobody really knows. She lives alone, and she's always on about Rudy, who stole her heart. Went to a premiere with her when she was a budding actress, and Hollywood reported them as lovers. 6 months later, he's super famous. She never made it, and then he dies. And the story is they think this old lady, who nobody really knew much about, is actually the woman in black that goes and lays flowers.
Oh, okay. So that is as soon as Joe mentioned about Valentino, I just had that line from the Bangles. I was kissing Valentino part on there. As soon as I saw the image. Right, now over to me. So I'm a bit torn here where to go. They're both very brief ones, but do we go movies or music on this one? What do you think?
Yeah, go for the music. We've not had music for a bit.
We've done plenty of movies, so.
This one, there's other aspects that we can talk about, but is this gentleman?
Ah, yes.
Sydney.
Young Sydney. Right. So, Sid Vicious is right. Hang on. Right, Sid Vicious is claimed to hear the teeth in. Sid Vicious claimed screams of Nancy Spungen can be heard in the room of the Chelsea hotel where she died. Allegedly, guests that have been in the room claim to have seen fleeting glimpses of Sid in the mirror sneering at them. So, as I said, it was only a very brief one.
Sneering too.
The other brief one is this. Shirley Temple.
And the good ship.
Now, I can't remember. I was going to do an Unfortunately, it was with my former teammate, but we was going to do an investigation. We've done an investigation in a haunted pub in Ipswich. You've had a few famous people go there. Ed Sheeran used to occasionally drink there. Danny Davis, the lead singer of Cradle of Filth, when he was a drinker, used to regularly drink there before they got famous. Now, they had friends that work at Silent Street Theatre. Now, I can't remember, it was between 1937 and 39. I can't remember the exact year, but Shirley Temple done a 3-month stint acting on the stage at Silent Street Theatre in Ipswich. And allegedly a spirit of her as the child. So it'd have to be a residual, not actually of a spirit.
Yeah.
But her ghost of her as a child has been seen walking on the stages. And the most recent sighting of that was 2011.
Wow.
So not overly that long ago. Well, a fair old while, but it's within quite recent history. So, and the only other famous one of Ipswich I can think of is on 4th Street. I mentioned this before. In Bleak House, one of the characters dies of spontaneous human combustion because Charles Dickens, when he was, I believe, about 32, was lived in Ipswich for 3 years, working for the newspaper, and apparently on I can't remember the name of it. I've completely forgot the name of the flipping road, which is annoying because late father-in-law used to have a house down there. Oh, Rope Walk. That's it. Sorry. There was a story from 30 years before Dickens was born of a woman on Rope Walk that had been found that had died from spontaneous human combustion.
Oh.
And that's where they believe the idea in Bleak House came from.
Yeah.
So
potential.
So, but that's two very quick ones. Lynn, have you got any more?
Let's have a look
I've
at
got a
the
few more,
list.
but to be honest, most of you have mentioned most of what I wrote down.
I've got a stupid. No, I don't want to do that one. Here's one that hasn't been mentioned. Harry Houdini.
Oh, yeah.
Renowned escape artist Harry Houdini could not escape death's clutches, and now he is apparently shackled to this mortal coil.
But he didn't believe any of it.
No.
He died from a ruptured appendix on Halloween 1926. His ghost is rumored to haunt the Hollywood mansion where he was thought to have lived, or at least visited, during his life, as many in the Laurel Canyon neighborhood claim to have seen a spectral man matching his appearance. However, it now seems unlikely that Houdini had any association with the mansion. Therefore, the entire story remains a mystery.
So Houdini spent nearly the whole of his life trying to debunk ghosts.
Paranormal.
He's also the first one to popularize this is going to be our password, so you know it's me.
Yes, he done that with his wife, and I believe, was it his mother as well?
Yeah,
he never came back.
It was his wife. Now, the reason I heard, how true it is, I don't know, but apparently Houdini's mum had gone to see a medium, and the medium had said, "Oh, your son Harry's come through," but of course that was only a stage name.
Yeah.
And his mum never called him by his stage name. Cat's clawing me leather sofa. So that's how that was mostly debunked. But yeah, he's very well known. But allegedly, the last couple of weeks, just before he died, I'd heard that his opinions on it had completely changed. How true that is, it could be just urban legend. I have no idea.
Eric Wise.
Sorry,
his
Joe?
name was Eric Wise.
That's it, yeah. Well, his mum used to call him Eric. And the medium apparently said, "Your son Harry's here." Well, no.
And the only other thing I've got is a literally not even 10-second story. Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln.
Oh, is this Lincoln and Winston Churchill?
Eh?
Is this the Lincoln and Winston Churchill story?
No, it's mentioned at the end of it.
Oh, okay.
Some White House staff, past and present, have reported the occasional glimpse of Abraham Lincoln wandering the building.
Yeah.
Former First Lady Grace Coolidge claimed to have seen him in the Oval Office, stood by the window. And then you have the mention of Churchill is purported to have seen Abe while he was staying in the Lincoln bedroom. Churchill emerged from the bathtub when he spotted the president's ghost. And that's it.
Yeah, that's the story.
All it is.
I can't remember what it was, but allegedly Winston said some sort of witticism, and Abe Lincoln smoked because he was just dressed in a towel.
Yeah.
With cognac in one hand and a cigar in the other, and allegedly Abe Lincoln smiled and then just vanished.
Yeah.
So
the version of that I heard is he didn't have a towel. Abe Lincoln was staring at him and he's like, "Good God, man, pass me something." Was the version I heard.
Yeah, that's the version I heard too. was not wearing anything.
Yep.
The one I heard is he was actually in a towel. Also, I'd heard as well, allegedly, that before he died, Abe Lincoln had a dream that he was walking around the White House and people were running around in panic. And he stopped somebody in the dream and said, "What's wrong?" They said, "The president's dead."
Yes.
And he went and looked at his own body or something, allegedly. And then X amount of, is it Wilkes Booth that killed him, was it? If I remember rightly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, right.
And there's
So
all sorts of theories on that as well, and conspiracy
Well,
theories.
yes.
Yeah.
Did he actually, another one, did he actually do it?
Well,
And it's also just a random linguistic fact. The phrase "your name is mud," the doctor whose house Wilkes Booth was hiding in was Dr. Mudd.
Yep.
No.
I've been there to that house.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. When John Grant and I were driving around getting ready to go do some work in that area, we were there to pick up equipment or do meetings. I don't remember. We used to go out there all the time. But we were driving along. John was driving. And he said, "Hey, is that Dr. Mudd, the Lincoln assassin guy?" And I went, "Really? Yeah, probably. Let's go." So we went in there and walked around and saw the house. But he didn't, apparently, all he did was set John Wilkes Booth's leg. And he had broken it jumping off the balcony onto the stage. And then he got his leg set and then took off again to the barn where he was caught. But Dr. Mudd was picked up and accused of all sorts of stuff. He was sent down to Fort Jefferson off of Key West, Florida. Sat down there for a few years and finally he was released.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's where your name is Mudd is gotten from.
Yeah.
I haven't looked into it, but talking of presidential assassinations, allegedly, I think it was last year, allegedly video footage had come out that the guy supposedly shot JFK. There's supposedly video footage that he was actually in the crowd and not in the repository.
There was one I saw last week where just before Kennedy gives the chauffeur actually turns round and you see a cloud rising in front of the chauffeur, and then Kennedy goes.
Yes,
I saw that one last week.
That as one of my work colleagues. He's really into his JFK conspiracies and everything.
Well, allegedly, this video footage comes out that at the time that Kennedy is shot, there is a very brief glimpse of the guy that supposedly shot him standing in the crowd.
Yeah, so I think it's the same video we're talking about.
Yeah, so if he's in the crowd, he definitely didn't shoot him.
Well, he was either shot off the knoll, he was shot from the repository, he was shot by his chauffeur, shot by someone in the crowd.
Yeah.
One thing the
magic bullet that
he shot himself.
Rebounded a billion times.
Yeah.
Oh, they've tried even saying it was an ice bullet, haven't they? That's why.
Well, I did hear one that said it was his own wife who shot him.
Draco Nassus.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because he was having an affair.
Yeah, but men of that caliber.
It's as good a conspiracy as any.
Yeah, but then there's very similar conspiracy about Charlie Kirk at the moment, isn't there? So
men of that caliber never leave the wife for their bit of stuff.
No.
Because of the scandal involved. So yeah, she might have been jealous, but all she needed to do was line his condoms with cayenne or paprika. Problem solved.
Deep heat.
Give him a deep heat handy. Yeah. Or let's just make my eyes small.
Yeah, he's smarty.
There's so many conspiracies around that.
Yeah.
it's never going to come out.
No.
It's never going to come out. So, but like I said, there's very similar.
Even if it does come out, it's going to be so redacted. All you'll be able to read is the date.
And, if, or, but.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like I said, there's rumors about at the moment. It's a very similar situation with Charlie Kirk, isn't it? That allegedly, but I don't know. Oh, sorry, 2 seconds. Oh, sorry, my cat's getting
just shot JFK.
Yeah. One thing I'd heard about JFK, he'd had a sporting injury that had damaged his back, and he used to wear a brace.
Mm-hmm.
And on the particular day with the brace, he couldn't move, he couldn't bend or anything.
Yeah.
And on that day, he wasn't going to wear the brace, but one of his security aides recommended that he wears it because it's going to be a long journey. And that's supposedly how he couldn't get out the way in time, because he had the brace on, so he couldn't duck in time. I don't know how true that is, but so right. No, I think I
recognise. It's not
recognise
going to stop you ducking your head, but even so, that's not going to be much movement to get out of the way of someone coming out.
Yeah. Oh,
this is mine. You
Al
might recognise
Capone's
him.
guns don't hurt people.
Yes. Guns don't kill people. People kill people with guns.
Yeah.
Mr. Al Capone.
Go for it.
Is Alphonse Gabriel Capone, former gangster, bootlegger, racketeer, head of the Chicago outfit, and potential wandering spirit. He ruled Chicago throughout the Roaring Twenties, and is more recognizable than an awful lot of US presidents. Larger than life character. He died in 1947.
That's a hell of a scar on his cheek.
That's why he had the name Scarface, obviously. But what is strange about Capone is that he himself was haunted. That was his cell in the state penitentiary.
That's quite luxurious for them.
It's very luxurious. He used to sit in there, he'd listen to his music, he'd play his banjo and all sorts. This guy, he's obviously a ghost. He's got red circle around him and a big red arrow. So it's obvious. But he was a guy who allegedly haunted Al Capone during his life. He was a brother of one of the victims of the St. Valentine's Day massacre, a guy called James Clark. He was also one of the victims of it. He was Moran's brother-in-law, who was Bugs Moran, George Bugs Moran, even, who was one of Capone's.
Him alone there.
Yeah. He was one of Capone's main rivals in the bootlegging thing. And he killed him in the Valentine's Day massacre in 1929. Capone's men dressed as policemen entered a garage on Chicago's north side, owned by Bugs Moran. There they told several of Moran's men to stand and place their hands against the wall, where they gunned him down in Taylor machine gun fire. Sensational sick story of violence that made the general public call for an end to mob violence. Capone himself was soon rounded up and sentenced for carrying a concealed weapon. He was sentenced to serve time and spent 8 months in Eastern State Penitentiary. But he suffered. The story goes that he was tormented by the ghost of James Clark, and he could be heard at night in his cell begging Jimmy to leave him alone.
Apologies. Sorry, I've just had to go get some water because my diabetes alarm went off.
Yeah. He was also, after he left the prison, the ghost continued to dog him throughout his life. But Capone himself is also a ghost. He's been seen in plenty of places.
Yep.
Isn't Alcatraz one of the supposed sightings?
Yeah.
His cell in Alcatraz is where he was tormented by another spirit.
Yeah, well, that was Clark. He was also, it was a penitentiary that where he was sent for having a concealed weapon, that they could hear him screaming at night, telling him to leave him alone.
And I do think if every cell he stayed in was haunted, it's not the cell, it's him that was haunted because the guy he killed knew him.
Yeah.
Yes.
So he's basically doing a Patrick Swayze in the Ghost movie. You did this. It's your fault.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's other ghosts been spotted around in the same thing. Machine Gun Kelly has been spotted in the prison's chapel. Alvin Creepy Carpus in the prison's bakery and kitchen. And D Block is considered to be a hotspot for ghosts by several paranormal investigation teams. Okay. Some people reckon that the Capone haunting, i.e. Capone being haunted himself, was due to untreated syphilis.
I heard that theory.
Yeah, I have heard that.
Causing hallucinations, and like I say, he's gone in and blazed away, and when he came out, he retired to Palm Island, Florida, to live out the rest of his life. His ghost has been spotted there too, on his beloved boat. He's been spotted in just about every speakeasy around Chicago.
They were his money makers, weren't they?
He's alleged to stalk the ruins of the Maribel Caves Hotel, which was also known as Hotel Hell, which was the front for one of the fronts for his bootlegging business. The people have claimed to have had Capone encounters at the Old Bar Boo Inn, a former brothel. He's also been spotted as Bachelor's Grove Cemetery in Midlothian, Illinois.
Yeah. I've heard of that one. There's him and somebody else, and they're actually hanging out the window of the car watching, see if there's anybody looking before the car stops. And as the car stops and you hear the door opening, the whole lot vanishes.
Wow.
And they reckon it's when they were dropping off one of their former business associates.
He's got to be one of the most famous ghosts of that era. So,
but the fact that he himself was haunted adds a double twist to it.
I do
whether it was actually a ghost he saw, or like we say, it was hallucinations brought on by.
Yeah, because in that business, they seem to have a reputation of getting as close as proper friends with some of their business deals, and then having to kill them. That's going to give you the guilt trip thing.
Yeah, so that's what I was about to say.
If you combine that with the syphilis mentality, he may well have generated his own haunting, but he could probably have been haunted.
You mean like a tulpa type of thing?
No, just his guilt combined with the
got you.
insanity caused by the syphilis.
Yeah.
It's literally in his head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I still think it could be either. But yeah, both of them, I would say both possibilities have a good...
Yeah. I mean, if someone's violently killed on his orders, they are going to be pretty peeved about it and want to get their own unfinished business and all the rest of it. So, as you said, there could well be a truth in both of it. Just, are we not getting comments through again?
I have been wondering that because there's nothing since 8/28.
Yeah.
Is there anyone alive out there?
Is anyone listening, or have we bored you all to tears and sleep?
I've got a very, very brief one, and that's this gentleman,
Mr. Bowie.
Mr. Bowie.
Yes.
Right. It is only I've got a fine way of written it.
My friend that I met in the ice cream shop.
Apparently, he was an absolutely wonderful person. There's a guy called John Griffiths who runs a paranormal team in Liverpool.
Cheers, Perry.
And one of his friends was actually on the camera crew when they was filming Labyrinth, and he said that his friend had said that when they was having breaks, Bowie would be out there, he'd be having cigarettes and coffee with them, and just one of the lads. So I'm just trying to find where I wrote the bit. Bowie. Hold on, I've completely lost it. So a lot of what. Oh, here we go. Right, the Thin White Duke, David Bowie. It's claimed that David Bowie's ghost is regularly seen at the window of his New York home, just watching the world go by. A neighbour stated that at 2:30 a.m., the top floor light will flicker, and a very thin man will appear in the window for a short period of time and then just vanish.
He was a renowned insomniac, so yeah.
Yeah. He had, like many of the others we've had here, he had such a difficult life as well. Obviously, his brother committing suicide because of schizophrenia, and the fears he had himself about schizophrenia.
When he was doing all the Aladdin Sane stuff and stuff like that, when you look back on it, or when I looked back at it as a teenager, I actually wondered if he was as well.
Yeah. Well, he did fear it, didn't he? The interesting thing about it, my middle boy Harry, he's now 11 because it was just recently had his birthday. When he was 3, he learned how to.
I can see it.
Oh, okay. So it's people not coming in. Okay. When Harry was 3, he learned how to use the TV remote and use YouTube. And I've always been big into my music. I'll listen to music and watch music videos more than watching TV programs. And he's flicking through, and he found "Is There Life on Mars?" And to this day, now with Harry, because Harry is neurodiverse, as you know. If you have music on, he tells you to shut up, turn it off. He don't want to hear it. It really causes him to start stimming. If you put David Bowie on, he will sit there and he will actually sing it.
Yep.
And he is, like I said, he's 11 now, and he absolutely adores David Bowie. More his Ziggy Stardust stuff than his actual Bowie or that. But
that might be why most of the Ziggy stuff, you read the lyrics, they don't make any sense. He was making the lyrics up as what syllables are going to fit this bit of music. And that's why the stories don't follow in all the Ziggy stuff. And it might be that randomness that's appealing to his own personal randomness.
Yeah. I don't know why. When I remember it, because obviously Bowie is around a lot on MTV when it started getting big and things. When I was younger, Is it Space Oddity where he dresses as the Perro clown?
Yep.
I don't know why, but that video always used to creep me out.
I have an
When I
image
was a
that
kid, that always used to creep me out, that video. I don't know what it is. And to be honest with you, I would listen to him on and off throughout the years because music's always been my thing because it's always helped me with my mental health. But it's not really until after he died that I really thought, oh, Bowie's died. And that's like part of my childhood. And obviously getting older, people, famous people start dying left, right and centre.
Mm-hmm.
So I put on, I think I'd gone on to my Facebook around the time, and I was playing like some Bowie music as a tribute for him. Actually, I think it might have been one of my previous paranormal groups. And it weren't until then that I sat there and I actually appreciated and thought, do you know what? This guy literally is a musical genius.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, ironically, it wasn't until after he died that it dawned on me. So, and oh, wow. That's awesome.
Yours truly.
Yeah. Oh,
my depiction of that music video for a fancy dress. It was a Bowie fancy dress party not long after his death.
I've actually been told, I was actually told by a medium about 18, 19 years ago that one of my spirit guides is one of those type of clowns. Mm-hmm. Somebody used to do that sort of thing. How true that is, I have no idea, but
yeah. Growing up, I was always still am into rock music.
Oh yeah.
But all my mates growing up were into New Romantic and all the rest of it.
I was a huge Adam and the Ants fan.
And they were into Bowie, Duran Duran, all that side of things. But I had a
look at that.
bit of an artistic bent to me. For him.
Yeah.
And I did a picture of Bowie coming out of the mate's eye, corner of his eye.
Nice.
He shaved his head down the side, all flower pattern, and then a picture of Bowie on his cheek. And if we'd had phones then, like we do now, I've got to admit it was a cracking likeness. And after I did that, every time they were going in it, can you do me makeup for me? Christ.
Well, I posted that picture.
I used to have to do the lads' nails before they were going to the World Cup.
Yeah, that Queen pixel art that I done of Freddie and all that.
Yeah.
I might do one of Bowie actually. So, but no, like I said,
I loved Bowie to start with, but in his China Girl time.
Oh, I love that song, China Girl.
When I met him.
Nice.
I was going down to the shop for my mum. I was only about 11. And everybody's coming running up the road going, David Bowie's in the cafe, David Bowie's in the cafe. And of course, me being me, I'm like, aye, right, whatever.
Of course it is, yeah.
Went down.
Ask her the walls worked.
Posh red sports car outside the cafe. And I'm like, well, somebody with money's in the cafe. Got my mum shopping. And I thought, I'll go and get an ice cream. That gives me an excuse to have a nosy in the cafe. So I went and got my ice cream. And I turned round. This is my ice cream.
Yeah.
I turned round. And the table 3 feet away from me, David Bowie and his fiancée at the time, Iman. And I'm just stood there like, the ice cream's giving it.
They were together a lot of years, weren't they?
He looked at me and he's giving it, well, hello there. Just like he does at the beginning of the Snowman movie. And I just froze. And I'm like, I love your music. And I ran away. I was 11.
It's like I said, I remember growing up, it'd be on the radio or it'd be on MTV, like on Top of the Pops constantly and all that. And yeah, I'd like do my version of singing along to the stuff. But I was never a fan, but if his music was there, I would listen. I wouldn't go out looking for it. But no, since he died, I've realised and I know everyone takes the piss, but I absolutely love the Laughing Gnome song he done.
Yeah. one of the lads one of mates, again, I used to do his makeup for him as well, but he was a real fan of Bowie. And Bowie did they released it was like a box set. Cost an absolute fortune, but they were coloured singles, picture disc singles of all his singles. Cost an arm and a leg.
Yeah, I bet.
And we were at Bolton Tech. He was on a different course to me, but
I was just about to put those
one of the girls on the course ended up as my wife, ex-wife now. And the other girl, 2 other girls on the course, he was mad keen to go out with her. And she said, yeah, you can go out with me, but you got to take me here and sell me that. She bought it off him for 20 quid.
Oh.
And he was that infatuated with her. He was trying to sell it to anyone else so he could get the money to take her out. She said, I'll give you 20 quid for it.
Perry has
cost him something like 100 odd quid. Cost him 100 odd quid for this album. Jesus. And he sold it to take her out. That was the only date he went on. It lasted about 2 hours.
The day I met them, they were coming up to Gordonston to put Duncan into school. His son Duncan.
Yeah,
that's the day I met them.
I saw. I was just briefly.
What was that?
I did briefly say in an interview. The one tattoo David Bowie got is a tattoo of a moon, and apparently his daughter's got a matching one.
Yeah, you know why?
Well, that was his nickname for his daughter, wasn't it? Moon. So.
And there's another reason. Who's the director of the Truman Show?
I don't know. I don't even know if I've seen the Truman Show, to be honest.
His son, Duncan.
Oh, is it?
And what's the control room? The moon.
Right.
So there's multiple definitions for the moon for the entire family.
Okay.
But some of the kids that he grew up with used to call him the man in the moon because he was so pale.
Got you. I know his eye. The eye thing was because he had a fight with one of his friends over a girl, wasn't it?
Yeah. They bust the muscles that contract the iris.
Right. So, is this yours, Joe?
This is mine.
I was Ian. Right. Okay.
Mr. Walt Disney. Said to haunt Disneyland, as you would expect he would.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. I've seen this image,
Yeah. He's been sighted all over the place around Disneyland. He's mainly in his apartment where lamps keep going on and off.
The particular lamp.
Yes. The people go out, turn the staff go out, turn the lights off, come back, and they're back on again. He's been seen allegedly walking around the Disney gallery, which was intended to be a larger apartment for himself. He's also been seen walking around the grounds. In fact, this is allegedly his ghost. There is a video of it, but I can't.
Yes, I've seen it. Yeah.
Can't get it up. Well, I can, but
I was about to say you might want to rephrase that.
Yeah.
Let's move your age.
Well, even if I could, I've no bleeding use for it at the moment.
You don't stir your tea.
No, I like me tea hot.
Perry just said, I think Duncan directed the film. I've just looked. Yes, it was. It was Duncan Jones that directed the film Moon. I think that's Sam Rockwell, isn't it? If I remember rightly. Film. I believe it's. Is it Sam Rockwell? I don't know. I've still not seen that film yet, to be honest. Yeah, it's Sam Rockwell. Yeah, is the one I'm thinking of. Yeah. I didn't know he directed that actually. So that's interesting. Right, Joe, have you got a lot? Do you want to finish us off this week?
No, nothing that's terribly interesting. I mean, there's the Clark Gable and Carol Lombard.
Yeah.
They supposedly had their honeymoon or wedding night in Oatman, Arizona, which isn't terribly far from Kingman, right close to the California border.
Yeah.
California-Arizona border. Supposedly they stayed there in room 15, but that's being debunked a little bit, saying that it was added by later owners of the hotel to add a little bit of mystique to it. But Clark Gable used to visit Oatman a lot because he likes playing poker with the miners and things like that, people in the town who work there. So he liked playing poker with him, so he'd go and do that.
I did see one documentary where it's a bar now, might be a hotel.
It's not a hotel anymore, but it is a bar with $800,000 on the walls.
With the one when they were looking for her, and supposedly she's been heard in the ladies crying, and supposedly Clark has been spotted sitting at the bar with his head in his hands crying.
Right. She was killed in an airplane crash not too terribly far from there at Mount Potosi in Nevada.
That was it, yeah.
But and he used to go in there and after she died, but Oatman is on Route 66. So it was one of those towns that kind of kept living even after it became a ghost town. People would go there. There's donkeys and burros all over the place. They just roam. Everything. It's a really cool little place. Restaurant there at the Oatman Hotel is not bad. Food's good. Prices are good. It's just a neat little place to go if you're up in that area. But the story is that Clark Gable's ghost is up there. Carol Lombard's ghost is in the area. And, same thing with the Pioneer Saloon in Good Springs, Nevada. They say that Clark Gable's reported awaiting news of survivors from the airplane crash.
Yeah.
So that kind of stuff. But they see his ghost there on occasion. Crash was in 1942. So that's when she died. So
yeah,
a long time ago.
I remember seeing that documentary, and not that either of them are anybody I've ever had any sentiment about. I was greeting, I was crying when I watched the documentary because it was just so
a sad story. I mean, they were very happy together.
Yeah.
Right, I've only got one more, and this young man. Ryan Dunn of Jackass fame. Let me just check something actually. Just want to quickly check. I'm trying to find I can't find it. It takes too long to find it. Ryan Dunn, he was 34 years old when he died. He was highly intoxicated on all sorts of things. Mostly alcohol, and high speed. He crashed, and if I just quickly get it up, I've never looked at this before until just now, and Jesus, but this is what was left of the car.
Oh my God!
That is what was left of the car after his crash. It was only 34 years
Not
old.
even a hamster would get out of that.
No, there's no way to survive that. But allegedly, reports are that him, I haven't got the name of the person, but supposedly people have seen where the crash site happened. There's barriers there, and supposedly his spirit and the spirit of his friend are sat there on the barrier, laughing and joking with each other. How true this is, I don't know. Whether it's just urban legend or something to keep his memory alive, which is more likely the truth. It's probably to keep his memory alive. But yeah, supposedly his ghost is seen sat there laughing and joking with his friend.
Well, if you take Jackass as the inspiration, that would be the kind of thing they would do.
Yeah,
Yes.
and there is, I believe it's either next month or the month after, the very last ever Jackass movies coming out. So, and apparently Bam Margera has managed to straighten himself up enough and take the knife out of Johnny Knoxville's back long enough to take part in the film. How true this is, I don't know. But after Ryan's death, because him and Bam were extremely close. Bam was X amount, 100 miles away, and he woke up and said to his then partner, "Something's happened to Ryan."
Yeah.
And this was before it had come out that he'd been killed.
Yeah, mate,
allegedly. And there is video footage.
There's a lot of cases of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There is video footage out there of Bam being interviewed about it, and he's in a right state. And from there, unfortunately, the drink and drugs just got so bad.
Yeah.
Whether it's because of that or what, I don't know. But
I was just going to say it's a thing that happens regularly when people experience grief like that.
It does, but you think a lot of most of the crew were on drugs back then.
Yeah.
Steve-O does a podcast on YouTube, and he has said when he was at one point, when he was a really severe addict, he went to see his dealer who had HIV, and they'd left some cocaine on the table that was laced with blood, with the dealer's blood.
Oh, Jesus
and he was
Christ.
so high, he was so addicted, he still snorted it up. So, you know, that's
luckily, obviously, personality.
Desperation is desperation.
Yes. But in fair, and I can't remember which one of them it was, but one of the Jackass crew was so high, so addicted to, I think it was heroin, that he even turned himself into a rent boy to pay for his addiction.
Mm.
So
that happens a lot more often than we ever find out about.
Yeah,
well,
that happens quite a lot. All credit to Steve-O. All credit to Steve-O. Now I believe he's been clean about 13 years.
Cool.
So he still does all these crazy stunts and things, but he's drinking drug free, as are most of them. I think Bam's the only one at the moment that's still got a slight problem. So, but it will be nice. I'm looking forward to seeing the Final Weather film, because I grew up watching them, and some of the stunts are just absolutely insane. I used to watch those and Dirty Sanchez as well.
Well, when you said who it was, the first thing that popped in my head was it'll be haunted by all the burned out pairs of jeans from all the stunts they've done.
Yeah. And in the last film, there was a lot of injuries.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, sorry, not the last film, the one before. I think it was Jackass 3D. One of the stunts they were doing that was going to be in the film, Johnny Knoxville actually had one of his testicles cut off. He was meant to be doing a flip on a motorbike. He came down wrong, the handlebars snapped and cut his testicle off.
Ouch.
So
that's smart.
Yeah, just slightly.
You wouldn't do that.
Right, so last final one we've got.
Final one is Whiny Amy Winehouse.
Could not stand this woman.
No, I'm not a fan of her. Not a fan of her at all.
I like a couple of her tracks, but that's about it.
She allegedly... What the... Yeah, she allegedly came back to haunt Pete Doherty.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
And he fled abroad to get away from her. She came back several times to actually visit him. And, yeah.
Well, there's a lot out there that supposedly it's his fault that she became alcoholic, isn't there? So,
well, yeah, he's another one who's out of his tree most of the time.
Yeah.
So whether you believe it or not, it's Mitch Winehouse. I presume he's a brother. Often claimed that her spirit frequented
I have no idea, Barry.
In Kent. Came back in the form of a blackbird, like a tattoo, or used to sit on the end of his bed.
For God's sake, Perry.
I'm going to have to remember that one. That's a good one. Oh.
I'll just say whiny slime house. I can't stand it. I couldn't stand the music. Mitch is a dad. Yeah, right. Cheers, Perry.
I thought he was the dad when you said it.
Oh, okay.
Like I say, I've never really looked into it. It's just one that came up as a very brief. Sitting on the end of Pete Doherty's bed and him vanishing off to France because he couldn't stand it. I think some of that was guilty conscience.
Probably. Yeah, probably. But it's like with Whitney as well.
Should have said yes
overdose
when he tried to make her go to rehab.
Yeah, but you know you get these famous people that do all of these drugs and drink all of this, and it ends up killing them. And I don't feel sorry for them. They could easily say, "No, I'm not having a drink," or "No, I'm not going to take them drugs."
Yeah, they
choose to. So 9 times out of 10, it always ends badly.
Yeah.
So, and I know of people. Right, Lynn, have you got any? Oh, she's gone.
I'm still here. I'm on the other side of the room shutting the curtains, but no, I haven't got any more.
Another member of the 27 Brigade, though, isn't she?
Yeah.
Yes, she is. The only other one I came across was Jim Morrison.
Yeah, he's seen around that Père Lachaise cemetery in Paris.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is that famous image of supposedly him standing at his gravestone, but that's pretty much been debunked anyway, because it's been proven that it was actually a still from one of his photo shoots. So
there's a very old photo of me knocking about from 1993 with similar dude to just now, stood at the end of the street.
That looks
so many folk have said it looks like Jim Morrison.
Yeah.
I think, right, we'll come to a close here.
Although with the way the grey's going, I'm kind of turning into Sia, aren't I?
Yeah, actually, you got the one side. You got the Sia look there. Yeah.
It's the 50-50 bar from Close Encounters.
Right. We've got.
There are a few. There's others I've come across. Dylan Thomas, Spokes to Haunt the Bar. There's a few, like I say. Gene Harlow.
Percy Shelley was supposedly have seen his own ghost before he died. So
yeah,
and then
James Dean.
Yeah,
he's allegedly been seen.
Yes, that was one of the other ones that I actually had was Jimmy Dean.
Yeah.
And we said the other week, it's come out more recently that the so-called supposed speeds that he was doing are not true.
Yep.
Yeah.
Allegedly,
Jesse James, his ghost been seen. Liberace, another one.
Yeah, Liberace in the Italian restaurant that he used to own.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was it. California State 46 drivers claim to still see the ghost of Rebel Without a Cause actor James Dean walking the highway. Truckers up to Tilted that recently claimed to see a young man in a red jacket walking alone. One claims as he approached and the light hit the young person, he vanished. So that's supposedly Jimmy Dean. Princess Diana is supposedly seen at her childhood home. Allegedly, staff have seen her and heard her.
She was one of my random psychic flashes when I used to drink.
She was so beautiful. She was.
We'd been out. Me and the ex had been out on the booter, and at that point, I could drink more than he was, and he was the alcoholic. And I was absolutely keel-eyed. Went to bed. Woke up about 1:30 in the morning, maybe 2. And I nudged him and woke him up. And he's like, what? And I'm like, Princess Diana's just died. And he's like, what? I'm like, Princess Diana's just driven into a wall. She's dead. And he's like, aye, whatever. That was 1:30. It was what, 3 o'clock Paris time that it happened?
Yeah.
It would be roughly about, because it's like, what, an hour and a half difference with you and us?
It's about an hour. So about half an hour before it happened is when I woke him up and told him she was dead.
Christ.
So it was just one of my random flashes. But as I say, that's back when I used to drink. And when you drink, if you have a twinkle, like they say in The Shining, if you have a twinkle when you drink or partake in other substances, it turns you into an open radio station and you pick up all sorts.
Yeah.
That's why most people who do it for a living do not drink.
Yeah.
The only I've got a couple of very, very brief ones before we close out. Heath Ledger is claimed his voice and laughter can still be heard behind the locked Soho Manhattan door of his apartment. Cleaning staff claim that lights turn on and off, especially around 3 a.m. One cleaner claims to have seen him staring in the bathroom mirror, brushing his hair. River Phoenix, the staff at the Viper Lounges claim that this has happened before, and Zach and his team went in there, allegedly got EVP of River Phoenix still saying, I'm still here.
That's why Johnny sold his share in the Viper room, because he saw him a couple of times.
Yeah.
And they were very close friends, weren't they?
They were best buds,
I don't think...
John Wayne has been seen on his yacht.
Yep.
His old yacht. He's been seen there. It was a favourite place of his to go, and he's been seen walking around that.
I've heard at his place at Leo Road in Palm Springs.
Yeah.
Frank Sinatra's been heard there.
Another brief one I had it harks back to Ipswich again. There's a pub called the Lord Nelson, and around that area, it's near 4th Street and Rope Walk sort of area. There used to be a house there owned by Admiral Lord Nelson that him, his wife, and his mistress shared together. Supposedly, Nelson's ghost has been seen there. And the last one I have is Chris Farley, star of Beverly Hills Ninja and Tommy Boy, is claimed to still hang out after his death on the 60th floor of the Hancock Apartments. Guests say the bed often violently shakes at night. A cleaner has claimed lights flicker violently, and one guest has heard heavy footsteps followed by sudden bursts of laughter. So,
I have one local one just popped to mind with your stories being relatively local. Thunderton House in town was the replacement Royal Hunting Lodge after the locals burned down the castle because Edward I's men were in there. And fast forward from Edward I time to Bonnie Prince Charlie.
Yeah.
Bonnie Prince Charlie had a fever and stayed for somewhere between 3 and 13 days. The books differ, but that's the main range, 3 to 13 days before the Battle of Culloden. And at the time, the house was owned by a lady who was a widow, Lady Arundel. Now, when he left, she demanded his bed sheets were kept unwashed, and they were kept for 25 years. When she died, she was wrapped in them.
Oh, that's disgusting.
Now, that tells me Bonnie Prince Charlie got a wee bit more than bed and breakfast when he was there.
Yeah.
Especially being that she was a wealthy widow who supported his cause. The bar itself, there are several sightings of soldiers in full Highland dress and associated Culloden type images. The one I met was not Bonnie Prince Charlie, because he is alleged to be haunting the place as well. But if you've only stayed somewhere for between 3 and 13 days, would you really bother to go back and haunt it? But anyway, unless he had a really good time.
I was going to say, it might have brought back good memories.
Yeah.
But the ghost I bumped into was quite hilarious. This is back when I used to drink.
Yeah.
And me and my pal had gone out for lunch. And we went for lunch at like 10:30, 11 o'clock. And lunch went on a bit. About 11 o'clock that night, we decided we were leaving.
Sorry.
I stood up to back away from the table. And I bumped into what I can only describe as a rather tall gentleman who appeared to be happy to see me. I can tell you, he was very, very happy to see someone because I could feel it. And he was very tall because it was level with the small of my back, and I'm 5'4".
Oh, Christ.
So he was very tall, and if he had a missus, I'm sure she would have been very, very happy. But me automatically thinking it's a person, I'm like, oh, I'm really sorry. Sorry, I didn't mean that. And I turned around, and my pal's looking at me. She's like, "Who are you speaking to? Who are you speaking to?" I'm like, "The dude I just bumped into." I says, "I think I've just hurt him because he's, shall we say, ready for action." And I think I've hurt him.
I've just bent him.
And she's like,
"Is that a claymore in your pocket?"
She says, "Turn around and look." And I turned around and there was nobody within 5 feet of us.
Christ, ghosts are getting it more than I do.
I know the feeling.
But it was just so funny because my first thought was, oh, and then it's like, oh, that probably hurt when I backed into you. I'm really sorry, so sorry, didn't see you there. My pal's like, who the hell are you talking to? Nobody there.
Oh dear. Right. We have gone a little bit over, but never mind. Right. So out of all these famous ghosties or alleged famous ghosties, who would you, out of all of them, like to have bumped into?
Marilyn.
Oh, yeah.
For me, definitely.
I'd want to
not
have
just because she was gorgeous.
I think if Marilyn had been about when I was a teenager, I don't think I would have needed blue tack to keep a picture on the wall. So
I would like to have a conversation with Elvis and see what's true and what's not.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of stuff about him that is very, very dubious from various people. Unfortunately, people that he trusted while he was alive.
Yes.
I'm not sure he'd trust any of them now if he was alive.
Well, there's a lot come out. There's a lot come out about it that he's a PDF file, wasn't there? So
yeah.
Apparently, backstage he regularly had 12, 13, and 14-year-old girls to.
Again,
I think that's come about from another thing. There was a show he went to when he had a weekend off, and he took Lisa Marie. And the performer was insisting, while he was half naked in the dressing room, that Lisa Marie came and sat on his knee.
I don't know, because there was actually
Mr. E turned around
a few weeks ago about this.
He turned around and said, absolute no. And apparently he reported it to the hotel that this dude was performing at, and that dude never performed at that hotel again.
Yeah.
Because I was having an argument.
The trouble is, people, I mean, he's famous. As we know, people make all sorts of shit up about, especially when they're dead. They can't defend themselves.
Look at what happened with Michael Jackson. I mean, it was bad enough before he died. I mean, okay, there might have been some dodgy stuff, but probably not.
But I think if Michael Jackson had lived over here, he'd have been swept up in Operation U-Tree.
Well, there's a lot recently come out that Jackson was actually, he's mentioned several times in the Epstein files.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Allegedly, he went over there to try and shut it down, but considering the rumours that I don't know, obviously for legal reasons, I have no idea.
And that's it. Believe half of what you're saying, less than a quarter of what you hear.
I had an argument a couple of weeks ago. There was these things come up. Who's the better singer? Like this and that. This against versus that. And they had Freddie versus Elvis, and I said obviously Freddie because I grew up.
Different style.
Freddie had a bigger range.
Yeah. This guy was lucky in Elvis to do like baritone right through to.
But again, it depends on the sort of music you like.
He could on some, but he couldn't switch from one end of the scale to the other like Freddie did.
Well, I was talking to him about that, and I actually sent him the link. As there was a 60-minute documentary of I think it was about 8 or 9 women that claims that they'd had sex with Elvis when they was 12 and 13 years old. Allegedly,
I had sex with Elvis. Can I get some money, please?
Also, allegedly,
a loader.
I've never actually read it myself, but allegedly,
I thought you were going to say you've never actually had sex with Elvis.
And also allegedly, because I've never read it, so I don't know. I've never read the book, so I don't know. But allegedly, Priscilla wrote a book, Elvis and Me, or something it was called. And allegedly, in there, it says that she's claimed that Elvis did it as well. How true that is, I have not. Obviously, not just for legal reasons.
Yeah.
I've not read it, so I don't know how true it is. So.
Yeah, it's documented that he was seeing her when she was underage, but he wouldn't lay a hand on her till she was over 18, which she documents that she was getting frustrated with that because she wanted it, but she wasn't over age, and he wouldn't until she was over age.
He was
That's another of her own books.
Again, he was a religious person.
He was as holy willy as they get, for goodness sake.
Yeah.
We know a lot about religious people, though, so.
Yeah, but.
Well, yeah, but because of his mum's ancestry and his mum's influence, I really don't think that would happen.
No.
Like I said, I don't know. It's just like the rumours that are out there, how true they are.
Well, we all know what rumours are. Like I've said before, I've started rumours, 3 or 4 rumours at a place, just to see what's come back to me. And I've had people swearing blind that they knew the truth of it, and you don't. I made it up half an hour ago.
And some folk I know have been assaulted by people who are now dead. And were worth a bob or two. You don't see them taking them to court and trying to get money out of the estate and stuff like all these folk do.
Well, it's like that joke. even though I can't particularly stand him, but that joke Jim Davidson says, well, so-and-so touched me 3 years ago. Well, why didn't you get him arrested then? Well, he didn't have any money back then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So,
Exactly.
I think what about you, Joe? Out of all the famous ghosties that we've spoken about
No,
tonight?
I think I'd like to sit back and chat with Lon Chaney or Vincent Price or
Yeah.
the other ghostie, one of those.
Even Peter Cushing, Christopher Lee,
Yeah.
all of them.
Yeah, that Vincent Price though is
It's
be
the Holy Trinity. Vincent, Christopher, and Peter is the Holy Trinity.
Didn't it recently come out that I think it was Christopher Lee was actually a spy during the war, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was really shocked.
Supposedly, he actually watched the very last beheading on the guillotine here in France.
Yeah.
And
well, that was 1977.
He met one of the assassins of Rasputin.
Yeah.
He knew Tolkien.
Mm-hmm.
His dad was a I've forgotten the word. The politicians that make deals between different countries. Diplomat.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he was multilingual, and one of his cousins is Ian Fleming, who wrote the Bond movies.
Yeah.
You know,
he also wrote and produced his own heavy metal album.
Yep.
He was awesome.
And it's the one I like is when Cubby Broccoli is telling them how to act.
Christopher Lee done a heavy metal album.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know I'm going on YouTube, don't you?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's not bad at all.
No, it's not. It's actually
really,
quite a
really good.
Yeah.
I honestly did that. That I did not know.
No, he was into rock music, heavy rock. Metal.
That dude has just gone from here to here for me now.
When he was
stratospheric.
When he was a spy, he was a double agent between Russia and Germany. Then he was a double agent between Germany and France. And on top of that, he became a double agent between Germany and the UK. Jesus. So he worked for every government that was involved in the Second World War as a double agent at some point or other. And when he was a double agent between Russia and Germany, his cover for traveling around so much was he was an opera singer, which he was a fully trained opera singer.
Yeah, I know about that bit. Yeah.
He spoke or could at least have a conversation in 11 different languages, including Mandarin and Russian.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is, I mean, he was my hero because of the Hammer horror movies, but when I found out all this other stuff, he went from hero to god status.
Oh, like I say, he is stratospheric. He is
absolutely. I would have loved to have met him and had the, like, you'd have to spend a week with him to talk about all the stuff you would want to
spend a lifetime with him going through his the
exactly.
He could tell.
Anybody that isn't watching that wouldn't know is Ian has got kind of a claim to fame because you was there at the very last ever Queen concert, weren't you?
That was at the Nebworth.
Yeah.
It's a kind of magic concert, yeah.
So when I was a kid, I actually lived. My parents were a cleaner and groundskeeper for a couple of judges that had a house, I think Victorian or Edwardian house. It was in the middle of its own forest. It had acres of land, and me and my mum were out in the garden. She was doing a bit of weeding. I was playing with the cat out in the garden, and the helicopter that Freddie and the rest of them were in literally flew over the top of the house to the field where it was. But you was actually lucky enough to be close to the front of the actual...
No, I wouldn't say I was close to the front. We were quite a way back, but it was...
Compared to a lot of people. It's just such a shame that the video footage of that time, of that last concert, isn't about... I would love to have seen that. But I remember I was stood out the front of the house and I could hear the crowds in Nedworth because I was in Stevenage and obviously Stevenage and Nebworth are slammed right next to each other, and you could hear it. It was absolutely amazing. I really remember
it was a brilliant concert.
And I have looked, but I've not seen a single supposed report of Freddie's ghost that I could find. So
they claims he's haunted by Freddie, but not in the way we mean.
If he was anywhere, I think he'd be around his family.
Yeah.
Or the one who basically lived with him as a wife, but wasn't a wife, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
She's recently sold Garden Lodge, hasn't she?
Yeah.
So, which is a shame. I don't know who lives there now, but apparently she sold it, and she made a lot of money on the stuff of his that was sold. So there's never going to be.
He left it to her to do what she wanted with it.
Yeah.
And if I remember rightly, is that not exactly what he said to her in the last few weeks that he was here? It's yours. Do what you will.
Yeah. So I'm sorry about that. He did love Jim, but I think Jim only got something like 50,000 or like 100. It was a very small amount that he got.
Yeah,
and
but
he died of cancer back in Ireland, didn't he? Bless him.
Yeah, but she took care of him.
Night, Perry.
When he was very, very ill before it was known what he had.
Yeah.
Night, Perry.
Yeah.
Right.
I think he had a closer link to him than anybody other than his mother.
Oh yeah. And it wasn't that long ago she died, was it? Really? Not over long ago. After Dayton died, after my son died, I think I didn't leave the house. I quit my job because the job I was in at the time, I was working in a gym. And they would only give me 3 days off after burying my son. And I thought, no, you're taking the pee out of that. I'm not going to get over the death and burial of my son in 3 days. So I just quit the job. And the first time I went out was 6 weeks after. We went to a little theatre in Norwich, and the band Mercury were playing. And even though I didn't get to meet her, Freddie's mum was actually on off stage at the back.
Yeah,
because she was one of the Mercury is one of the only bands that she wholeheartedly helped support.
Yeah,
I've seen them through. The guy that plays Freddie, I must admit, I have got an image of me taking a photo with him somewhere. But I must admit, he's a miserable bastard. He really is. As an act, you would think it was literally Freddie, but I thought he was miserable himself. But out of all the ghosts, out of all the famous people's ghosts, that is the one person that I'd love to meet. But out of tonight's lot that we've got, for me, it'd have to be Robin.
Yeah.
It'd definitely have to be Robin, because that would be someone famous that I'd absolutely. Because
I'd like to have a lunch or something with Bowie, so I could have a proper conversation with him instead of being starstruck.
Oh yeah.
But instead of just being a starstruck 11-year-old and falling over my words and running away.
Yeah. But like I said, my friend, the person that my friend John knows, he said that when he was making Labyrinth, he'd just go sit out in the car park with the crew and drink coffee and tea and smoke cigarettes, and he was just really down to earth. So it'd be amazing to. It would be amazing to me.
I think that's why his Duncan is so chilled, because he really was. So, I mean, Duncan had issues while he was at school. He's one of the few celebrity children who was actually kicked out of Gordonston for refusing to do his exams, but not just refusing to do his exams. When they found him, he was partaking in a little bit of self-appreciation.
Oh, right.
While partaking in various substances underneath his bed in the dorm. So he was kicked out.
And I
But
think
it caused such a stink. Nobody in his year sat their
maybe he should have
exams
washed
that
it
year. They
first.
all refused.
If he calls that much of a stink, maybe he should have washed it first. I did actually have a look. I couldn't find anything. But another spirit that I'd love to meet would be Mark Bolan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently he wasn't the nicest of people in the world either.
Yeah, he was really, really stinky.
Yeah.
Apparently he was
Yeah, I
really
believe
stinky.
so.
Yeah, one of his because I was watching a doc, because obviously Harry likes where Harry found my son found about Bowie. I thought, oh, you know, Bowie got a lot of his stuff, his like clothing and that from Bolan. So I put Harry onto Bolan. So Harry likes Bolan as well. So I was looking for a documentary for him to watch the other day when they came over. One of Mark Bolan's crew said he'd been working for him for 10 years. And he said, look, Mark, you're taking the pay now. I've worked all this time and I deserve a pay rise. And he gave him £1 pay rise.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, that's along the lines of the story that I heard as well.
Yeah. He was very tight-fisted. And as Ian said, I think it was week before last, it probably is just urban legend. But supposedly, Bolan had said that somebody had said to Bolan, oh, this time next year, you're going to be driving around in a Rolls Royce. And allegedly, he says, with my luck, I'll only be good enough to die in a Mini.
Yeah, it's urban. How are you going to prove it's true?
Yeah.
It was the person that said it to him that has said the story. How true it is, like you said, is probably urban legend. But I think it's only been really since Harry's been born and found, like, I've introduced him to Bolan, that I've appreciated like how good Bolan actually was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, these sort of things only happen after the person goes, that you realise, Jesus, that person really was a genius.
It's like a lot of stuff I didn't like. I say I didn't like. Like I say, I grew up in rock music was my scene and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Mates were into all the new romantic stuff and that.
When I was a kid, I did have the full Adam Out outfit, so guilty.
Yeah, I can listen to that music now and I can sing along with it because I know that I wouldn't say I particularly like it or it's my favourite sort of music, but it is the music in my youth. And I like it a damn sight more now than I did when it was.
Yeah.
See how you said the music of my youth?
Yeah.
The way you said it, my brain went, pass the dutchie pan the left hand side.
Yeah, no, mine was doing it as I said it. Thinking that myself.
I think another spirit I'd like to
colour
with would be Bob Marley.
Yeah, that'd be okay.
Yeah,
that'd be very cool. My oldest son Adam, his grandfather Tony, used to play football with Bob when he lived over in Jamaica, and it'd be interesting just to like sit down and obviously because of his Rastafarian beliefs and all of that, that's why Bob didn't get the cancer dealt with, which is a shame because it's amazing to think what would have come out, you know. So, and it's like there was in 1973, I think it was, there was meant to have been a duet between Bob Marley and Prince, but because of the way Prince dressed at that time, they met up for the meeting. Bob Marley was sat in there. Prince turned up 3 hours late for the meeting, dressed in a rain mac and just a thong, and because of his Rastafarian religious beliefs and all that, dressed like that, automatically Bob assumed he was gay, and because of his beliefs, they weren't allowed to. He refused to do the song. But I can just imagine that would have been what that would have been like, Prince and Bob Marley doing a duet. That would have been phenomenal.
But that's the thing is If.
Yeah.
Biggest word in the English language.
Mm.
If only this had happened, if only that had happened.
Yeah. It might have actually been 71 that it happened in, actually, thinking about it. I think it was 71.
Right, I'm going to have to go anyway because
Anyway,
in the morning.
And the phrase I was looking at, well, 1971, he would have been 11 years old. Prince in 1971.
Perhaps I'm thinking might be 80s then, I really can't remember, but supposedly it's out there anyway.
But on the point of the ifs and ands and buts, I come back to an old saying that my grandma used to say and my mum still says. If ifs and ands were pots and pans, there'd be no need for tinkers.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I had that going through my head, but I couldn't remember how it went.
Yeah.
So, you guys have been fantastic.
The other old one, if my auntie had been born with bollocks, she'd have been my uncle.
I love that one. It's been fantastic as always. You've had some really good ones here. So, hopefully we've got a few more subscribers. We're over on Spotify.
I can do this. I want to show you this sprawled out, madam.
Have a look at her.
Oh yes.
I've had to put DT away because he's tried knocking things off the candles off the side and all sorts of things. He keeps trying to get into the bloody Viv and eat the crickets. So it's been fantastic as always. We'll think about online. We'll talk in chat about what we're going to do next week.
Yeah, we'll sort another topic out.
But I did actually mention the other week about possibly actually taking it to fortnightly or even monthly to give the videos slightly more chance to gain traction. Night, Cole.
Night, Cole.
So, but we can talk about that. But you three have been fantastic as always. Joe, don't turn to your left too quickly, or otherwise you're going to get an eye.
She'll have your eye out.
Yeah, I was going to say she'll knock your eye out.
Knock your eye out.
So yeah, for me though, definitely Robin Williams and
go.
Monroe. They can haunt me anytime they want because they were both idols of mine. I absolutely adore them too. So, right, guys,
Right.
I need coffee. I need to take the insulin.
I'm off to my pet.
We're
Yeah,
on Spotify now. Lynn, I've also made them corrections on the app that you said about.
Cheers.
You can now download it, and if any words come up, you can download and save the words as well.
Cool.
So, and I'll do. I've got about 3 more hours, and I'll do a few more tweaks into that. So, anyway, guys, thanks for joining in as always, and have a good evening.
Night.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.